tournaments, but also in the HCT standings. You might see him compete. But we're done. 3.5 hours later, we finally got to match number 2, Team Liquid versus Love You Lots. And I think this one has a lot more of those fan favorites that people love to see. You have Team Liquid here coming off of a finals finish here in Season 1. Dog and Show are back. This time, instead of Neyria, they have Fino from Millennium, who's also joined the team. He's also a very creative deck builder. I like Fino's style a lot. And he's going up against Team Love You Lots, who is pretty much the Team American Heroes. I mean, you could if they had a sub in, you'd probably get Team Amnesiac along with them as well.
Well, you mentioned Fino's deck building. I think it's really critical here because this is a big part of where Trinity has that distinct nature. All 9 classes are represented across the board in every set of play. At the start of each match, teams will ban 2 of the opposing classes from play. Of the 7 they have remaining, they'll choose 6 of those to bring to the table, which means they'll omit 1 of those classes. With those 6 remaining classes, they're going to play a series where the first team to get 6 wins takes the set. And since they're playing last Euro standing, the deck that wins stays on board, and the deck that loses is out of contention. And it's important to snowball matches.
That's right. So I think one thing to consider, too, is, there's no dominant strategy currently with how picks and bans are going. People have chosen different strategies, and it's worked out for some. It hasn't worked out for others.
Yeah, this is about what I imagined.
This is what we originally anticipated at the start of the week. Druid and Priests are the big players here, but now what will they be omitting? And it seems like the Team Liquid will adopt the strategy that we saw yesterday where people are omitting the Warrior. They don't feel like it's consistent enough, and then Hunter being excluded from Team LUL.
Yeah, and this is somewhat interesting to see because Dog has been playing a lot of Warrior. I know that there's a lot of Warrior specialists going on in Team Liquid right now, of course with Show in the mix as well, but when you're accounting for this full of a lineup, there's a lot of different things you have to take into account. And there you'll see it. Dog's going to be on Mage Rogue, Show is going to be on Paladin Warlock, and Fino is going to be on Shaman and Hunter.
Yep, and over on the other team for Team LUL, they're going to have the same exact lineup, or same exact setup as well with 2 pilots, 2 decks per pilot. You have Zalae on Paladin and Warrior, Chalky with Mage and Warlock, and Muzzy with Rogue and Shaman.
That is exactly how I would have picked this to break down to. Zalae with like the intricate little decisions to make turn after turn, Chalky with the big combo style decks, and Muzzy with the 2 that are likely to get aggressive.
Maybe, as far as we know.
As far as we know, yeah.
As far as we know. I mean, Muzzy also, he's played a lot of Tempo Rogue, but he's also climbed a lot with Miracle Rogue in a time where Miracle Rogue wasn't even considered that good.
Yeah.
As recently as a couple months ago. It was like, well, I hit top 5 legend again with Miracle Rogue. And it's like, well, I thought Miracle Rogue was like dead. People play Quest Rogue, if anything.
So, something I know about this group of guys, though, is that they tend to play fairly straightforward. They like to play powerful decks that are the driving force of the metagame. One of their big tools is finding the right tech choices for the right times. So you'll see them play the same deck over and over and over again. It's the tech choices that really change. And then right when everyone starts to catch on, that's where they start to mix it up. That's part of what has made them such a force in tournaments throughout the years, is that they just play powerful decks. That's just a good strategy.
All right, well, here we go. Team Liquid going to start off with Rogue as well as Love You Lots. And already, here's a little bit of a mix. So we mentioned this before, and we talk about how there's multiple ways you can build out some of this Tempo Rogue stuff, and you're ready to see sort of the deviations. One has Nag Corsairs, a little bit more Pirate package. One has Elementals with Blaze Callers.
And that's what I mean by those tech choices. The decks operate in a fairly similar way, but Love You Lots is looking for the end game payoff with big swing turns. Following up a Tar Creeper with a Blaze Caller. Are we going to see something as crazy as Servant Calamos in this deck? I'd venture to say not, but I haven't seen this deck fleshed out just yet, and I'm curious to see what they've been cooking up because I know they've been putting in a lot of practice for this event specifically.
He already seems to be in high spirits laughing about something. But, one of the important things about this matchup, too, is that very similar to how Miracle Rogue mirrors and Quest Mage mirrors used to be, it's all about who sets the pace early on because like every other Rogue matchup in the history of time, whoever gets ahead in damage tends to be the one that has to, that can just continue to hit face, and the opponent has to keep trading the minions.
Yeah. And already some cool looking stuff going on here in the early stages. Something that I'm really looking forward to is seeing how Muzzy and crew are going to tackle combat. I know that Muzzy's one of the best tactical minds for combat scenarios in the game in terms of planning out the future turns that are going on. Chalky has a great mind for that as well, and Zalay just always has that technical form. I think these three guys are great, and Dog's got very strong intuition, Show has great game plans going in, and Fino, he's always up to date on deck lists. Let's listen to Lovey Lots, see what they're thinking here on turn 2.
So if they... I think we kill it then, right? It's
I
one
would
damage.
kill it. We have
one
a
damage.
decent hand. I don't want damage. Draw that. I don't want to get.
Trade
I
patches.
think killing it's fine.
Yeah. Trade patches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we might want to Shadow Blade next turn. Probably not, but we might. And in that case, we want to have used our dagger hit.
Yeah.
Like,
Potentially.
Yeah, maybe it's a good one. Maybe they kept Edwin. It's possible.
Keep Edwin going first, though. That's weird, man.
They probably kept it. I think they discussed it and they were like, oh, it's probably just good enough with backstab or something.
Yeah. Yes, dagger, right?
Yeah, just dagger.
Yeah, just dagger. Looks fine.
I think we want to try to save file spine then for later.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what they have, but I'm pretty sure it's one of those two.
yeah, we don't really have a hard read on anything. We don't have like an overall plan yet. We're just basically trying to be on board going into turn 7 and keep them off board going into their turn 7. They have coin, so they have better
Like
combos. And so,
Okay, so the reason for Shaku is starting to collect cards, but it gets removed really easily. Tar Creeper is a pretty good play here, I would say, and Shaku's really nice on turn 6.
isn't Tar Creepering after our Shaku just fine to protect it? Like, yeah, it probably still gets removed, but
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm thinking
like
like we
Shakuing.
Shaku, he develops, and then we backstab SI.
Something like that, yeah. And then we start getting more cards. We force them to maybe like coin vial spine or Shaku or something. I would
Okay.
Shaku.
I agree. They have a flame million in hand, which they might play in.
Like, I don't think the Shaku ever gets better. Like, you mentioned turn 6, and that's pretty good, but
Backstab SI.
that was a quick Tar Creeper, but it was just a good play here for them, so not really
Okay.
anything.
Shadow Blade is better than SI.
I like... So they might like coin vial spine next turn and kill our Shaku. They're going to be trying to remove Shaku no matter what they do, right?
I think the S is clearly better than Shadow Blade. We want to have 2 minions, not 1.
I would tend to agree.
Yeah,
But,
I think
yeah, we can't
better as well.
proc the SI, so like next turn we
SI.
can't.
And next turn's like Tar Creeper hero power, too.
Yeah.
That's another argument against the
Okay.
Shadow Blade.
I'm fine with it.
This guy's toast.
All right. What do we get? Ooh. That's pretty good, but I'm just getting my turn. Never hit on anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just see already by the team dynamics between Love You Lots and Team Liquid. Already a stark difference. One team seems to have an incredible amount of caucusing going on. You have like Love You Lots debating, arguing lines, each one explaining their lines of play and in depth of how it would play out. And then Team Liquid seems to be more trusting how Dog just wants to pilot it. It says, I think this, and they confirm like, yep, agreed. I want to do this. Okay, I'm doing that.
And I think part of that stems from the fact that they realize they're in a defensive position in this game because they don't have the attacker's initiative. So they really have to feel out what Lovey Lots is doing in this spot and then start to respond to it afterwards. Something that I want to talk about is last season, Chalky and Zalay were very playful during their games, to the point where it almost seemed like they weren't talking about the game at all. Muzzy shows up and suddenly the jokes are done on turn 1. They're ready to game.
Well, Team Liquid seems to be all business with cleaning it up. Shaku coming down and also starting to threaten to draw a lot of cards. But Lovely Lots has that Tar Creeper to stall it.
It's actually pretty critical here, too, that they have the double Tar Creeper. Because they did go Tar Creeper on 5, Tar Creeper on 6, and then roll into Blaze Caller. And this is the situation that they're trying to create with Blaze Caller, is to emulate that second Vile Spine to make sure that they can squelch the opposing board leading into their turn 7. You heard Chalky mention how important it was to have board going in turn 7 and take away your opponents going into that turn. Yep. Bone Mare is just a massive player in this matchup.
Yeah, Bone Mare is really important, and Blaze Caller kind of gives you more Bone Mare, so to speak. When you usually play a Bone Mare, you're often trying to see if you can trade up or get something else that's really good, equivalent to the same amount of damage Blaze Caller would do.
Yeah.
Blaze Caller will cause a little bit more setup, but the payoff's even higher because you do more damage, more stats.
That's right.
And when I first saw the Rogue play Blaze Caller, that's when I saw them first use Shadowcaster. So I wondered who is greedier with their deck list. Let's once again tune in Team Liquid and seeing how they're going to play out this turn.
Yeah, and then we can Shadow Step it as well.
We don't Shadow Step at this turn, though, right?
No, but next turn, right?
Do we play the Flame Elemental or not?
I think we do, because we're gonna utilize the coin, right? And next time we can go Dagger Naga Corsair. So we still have a play next turn.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah. I
Like
agree.
it?
Yeah.
Positioning
Wait,
on.
draw first. Draw first, by the way.
Can't draw
Don't
first,
play the
right? No,
elemental.
not first.
No, yeah, I mean, don't play the elemental, just in case.
Yeah. Positioning Flame Elemental in the middle because of Betrayal.
Yeah, they have one.
Got a
on the
randomly generated card.
card. That's not a good one, I think.
Easy.
It's pretty nice if you get Cold Bloods from that, right?
If you want to 2-3 and play it that way.
Yeah, I want to Shadow Blade their Shaku and Tar Creeper, but we can definitely think about it for a long time.
So on board, the Tar Creeper gets.
Or doesn't do anything, but it's just better than a Captain, and we need a proc Blaze Caller.
Yeah.
Going into 6, I don't think they have any, like... anything.
Well, they want a dagger to kill our Tar Creeper, and then they have 4 mana.
Right. They don't have anything special.
They want to remove our board.
They want to
Might
set up
play
for,
Cairn. So
They want to set up for Bone Mare,
Yeah.
mostly.
Okay.
Well, play.
Yeah.
I could think a bit more, maybe go off the backstab on this, but probably won't ever use that.
That's right.
Naga, right?
Yeah, Dagger, then Naga, and then trade face, right? Very
Yeah,
clean.
and I think we
Wait.
should. Do we shadow
Yeah, I'm
step?
thinking about the shadow step, but like the thing is that we have Leroy, that's like 12 damage. And
Plus,
we already
they
have.
can't.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
think we shadow step actually.
We don't Shadow Step.
Yeah, we have so much
And
damage.
It
That's
doesn't
true.
matter because like this is 3 damage, so they're kind of wasting turns here. So this is just
Play
better.
Naga on the right, by the way.
Yeah, far right.
Settle the ship.
Okay, now they should also kind of be scared about Bone
We
Mare,
have
right?
so much damage. Holy crap! We have 12, 14 in hands.
Guy's real shiny.
Yeah.
We're gonna
I
kill the
mean-
3-1 as well.
Right. Yeah. Nothing else to really think about.
Okay. Kind of sucks they don't mean to stick, but
Yeah, but if it doesn't kill our guy,
Not bad.
we've got some good stuff potentially off the swash off the top as well. Like they have
We're
If
just
you
gonna
can,
go
like,
Corsair,
yeah.
Deckhand, Face, right?
Yeah,
Read
I
Dagger.
like that. Is it ever better to read Dagger first? And that
No.
we get 1 extra damage that way, but it's over.
It's over
Wait,
2 turns.
Yeah, we need 2 damage, right?
Wait, how do you get an extra damage? I'm confused.
You buff them and you buff the unit better more. It's technically better.
It's worse though, right?
Oh, it's better, right?
It's better, of course. Like, what do
So
you do?
we-
Don't you Dagger anyway?
Punch first, and then we play Corsair, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to play Deckhand too, by the way?
Yeah, I
Wait,
do.
wait. Wait, is it better though? Because we're going face next time with the one.
It's
It's the same,
Going
right?
face with
the same.
everything.
Yeah.
It's the same. We're going this everything.
I don't understand why we're discussing this. It didn't make any sense to me.
Well, you can see Fino is fitting in quite well with Team Liquid. At least he feels comfortable enough to voice his opinions very strongly. And I think, talking about the team dynamics here, Fino comes in as an outsider to Team Liquid, who are used to Nyria, and Nyria is also a very strongly opinionated guy. It seems like they're laughing, and I'm pretty sure it's because we cut off the comms right before Fino was about to drop some dank memes on us.
Yeah, he's a very outspoken character, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah,
And
for
something
sure.
that I've always loved about Fino is that when he spots a good play, he spots a good play. I mean, he sees the line here. It's Leroy Shadow Step. It's the Sousy deckhand. I mean, he spotted this a couple turns ago when they had the damage lead. And something that's been really important is actually just the the flame elemental sticking around to chip away for that 2 extra damage. It's represented so much of this stage that they were able to pull ahead and just simply race.
Team Levilat's going to clear the board, try to deny any bone mirror value, but what they're not thinking of is Leroy Shadow Step,
No way
which
to play
is
around it.
exact lethal. This is something that Team Liquid calculated.
1 over because of Naga.
Oh, you're right. Which is 1 damage over lethal.
That Naga Corsair dealt an extra 2 damage this game. Was somewhat important. I think that Team Liquid would have gotten there anyway with the damage race. So the response pays off. 1-0 lead for Team Liquid. Rogue has been knocked out of contention for Love You Lots. And Team Liquid's now ahead in that race to 6 victories. First team to 6 takes the set.
Yeah, and again, this is week 1 strategy that we're kind of expecting. A reminder to people tuning in midway, maybe you wanted to tune in to see Dog, maybe you want to see Team America try to get on the board here. But, in week 1 Trinity, we require all teams to submit at the same time. So while we have some teams deviating from the normal strategy, this is the expected strategy. Ban Druid Priest, lead with Rogue. It has the best matchup spread against everything else, has the most sweep potential. Where they start deviating is Team Liquid says, you know what, maybe we think Hunter is okay. And then Team Love You Lots was like, well, some of us like Warlock. And even within the finer details, you can see maybe a couple of differences. One, Rogue was much more aggressive. Pirates want to push damage, versus Elementals tend to be more board-based. Although Blazecaller can be more aggressive by hitting face for 5. Things like Tar Creeper and whatnot tend to play for more board stabilization.
It was that big mid position spot where Team Liquid was able to clear both the Tar Creeper and the Shaku in a single turn and get a threat down.
That was huge.
That was like the massive turning point in the game, where from there they kept the lead. It just got so much chip damage in. That's really what the Rogue matchup is about. And when your opponent can't get that double swing on 8 health that easily, that's when Blazecaller starts to shine, is because it's providing you that swing that you're looking for fairly reliably later on. It does come with that prerequisite cost, but that's not typically a big deal since you're looking to defend very often anyway.
Yep. So, what I'm also curious is if we'll see any variation similar to what we saw last series. Last series, there's a lot of unexpected decks coming into play. Things that were like, well, it's got to be like the Murloc Paladin. No, it's Control Paladin. Okay, well, perhaps it's more of like a defensive control mage. It's a secret mage. Those kinds of things end up throwing a little bit of a wrench into things. And I also wonder if, because we know specific types of decks that people like to play, are they going to throw even other things onto the table there? One of them that we saw yesterday was Tempo Storm bringing the Demon Zoo Warlock, which we didn't expect to see at all in the tournament, and that also put quite the big question mark onto how Warlock plays in the tournament series. Let's go ahead and go into Shaman versus Rogue for Game 2, as Shaman is the best deck to answer Rogue. That's currently available to Team Love You Lots here. I think Shaman's excellent at dealing with the aggression. It's got Devolve for any big buffed boards that they get.
Even Tar Creeper in here.
And even a Tar Creeper. A couple of unusual choices, which is something that I know Muzzy's personally well known for, like throwing a couple of interesting choices to really mess up people's expectations of how a deck performs.
Well, it does very well versus Rogue in particular. It's just a big minion at 3 mana on the Rogue side. They're often looking to buy tempo and use their weapon to clear off the remaining damage necessary. You take a lot of damage when you're chipping in Tar Creeper. Heaven forbid you have to attack it twice over the course of 2 turns to pick it off, and then say you see a healing totem in the mix there. There's a lot of reasons to use Tar Creeper in these battles, but they also have Galaka Crawler absolutely teched to fight against Rogue. They paid a lot of respect to this deck so far.
I mean, it's one of the best performing decks currently since 9.1 patch. Jade Claw's another really good card too. All fantastic options for the early game here for Love You Lots. I think with the knowledge of Naga Corsair in their deck, Galaka Crawler scales well into the mid game too, because it's a more decisive tempo swing that your opponent sets up for. So South Sea Captain's already in, but Naga Corsair is big time tempo.
Yeah, that's one of the most painful hits that you can take from any pirate playing perspective, is when you play Naga Corsair to try to buy that tempo value, and then Galaka Crawler comes out. And you're like, oh my gosh, my weapon doesn't contest this, my 5/4's dead. Nobody likes
and then the caster goes, oh my gosh, that was a huge draw.
Let's go ahead and listen to Team Liquid, see what they're thinking of this turn 1 double 1-2 from Love You Lots.
Yellow set, box up, let's go. Okay.
I trade one. I have to. It's too greedy not to.
Otherwise, they might get healing totem.
Trade
Throw
face.
the partisan.
Yeah.
Here, do we Jade Claws?
Um,
I'm leaning towards not playing it.
yeah, I would say we don't need to. So we're going into 3. They have like 3 3s. They have Shaku. They have Tar Creeper of their own. We could hit Taunt Totem and Healing Totem to keep our guy alive. Jade Claws just presents a 1/1 for them to kill easily. And we basically have a 50-50 of denying that. I would probably just Totem. Because Tar Creeper is very likely to be good into like Shaku or something.
Mm-hmm. You're on board, right, Soy? Totem?
Yes, that's my instinct.
Okay. Alright, we got Taunt.
Second best. It's kind of our team's theme.
Well, you're
Damn.
shocked. You're second best, right?
Muzzy's a champion now.
I'm a champion.
Yeah, well, you're 0-1 in Trinity, so get working.
That's hot.
Didn't play around that.
Alright,
That's
so
real nice.
I want to play our 3-mana card.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely makes sense. They get a free kill on the Taunt Totem, which sucks.
Yeah.
Opposed to us Flame
Why is that
Tongue
better
this
than
turn.
Flame Tongue?
Well, the Flame Tongue is just on board so that they could like deckhand it down for free. And then play
Flame
it
Tongue
3.
also gets better next turn. Like, it's pretty bad mana usage. for us.
Okay. We want them to play a Naga Corsair into us, 100%, right? So we
Yeah.
want to do whatever baits that the best.
We can't play in a Naga Corsair. I don't see a way.
I think Tar Creeper plays into it pretty decently, right? It's a 3/5 taunt
Yeah.
versus
they
a
just play on
5/4.
turf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're thinking, okay,
Yeah,
challenge
you
the Tar
convinced me.
Creeper. Yeah.
I'm gonna try.
I kind of like the Flame Tongue better, but I like the Tar Creeper for that reason.
Now they're like, what the fuck?
Okay, this is a very good silence turn, right?
I think we silence as well.
Yeah, silence
looks-
seems really
And
good.
then next turn we can make the 6/6.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, it's just good. I was thinking about
So it's
like
captain trade.
I was thinking about saving the dagger just in case we want to go.
No, I don't think that's worth it. I think it's
Silence seems the
Spellbreaker.
best.
Yeah, silence is definitely the play. I'm just thinking if we save the dagger or not.
I don't think we do.
It's too punishing against Flame Tongue, right? Flame Tongue plus patches.
The only way they recover board is Jade Lightning, and we can trade, so it's fine.
Okay.
We punch, right?
Yes. Yeah. I'm just thinking like it's not.
Yeah.
So one of my takeaways from the team dynamics that we're seeing going down here, Admirable, is I love the discussion that Team Love You Lots has, and some of the things that they're able to lay out their game plan very clearly. What do we want them to do? Because we want to win the game through a big Galaka crawler, for example.
Yeah.
Or and I loved how they slip into humor. Zalay, of course, alluding to the fact that he's second place in points, and Chalky for a while kept getting second place in every tournament finals he ever got to. Muzz, of course, is a champion.
Yeah, he's got to get to work, though.
He went-
0-1.
Yeah.
Come on, Muzz. Always third.
Well,
Third
and
best.
also, sorry, the joke is that Zalay and Chalky also got second at Trinity Series Season 1 finals.
It's a weird history, honestly.
Look at the time difference. One team is almost twice as long in consideration than the other. Dog's known as a fast player as well. And also, Dog's said on multiple times on stream how he doesn't like slow players, so this could also factor into it.
I think there's just been a lot of discussion. I mean, Love You Lots has been trying really hard to land these Galakas. And
Yeah. One team is trying to talk it out and say we should really explore all these lines and think about it. They see the obvious plays. You heard it last game. Well, clearly we want to do this weapon plus Tar Creeper this turn, but let's think about it. That's something Chalky said verbatim. Meanwhile, Team Liquid says, Fino, and I quote, "Why are we talking about this?"
I don't
Let's
understand why we're talking about this.
I don't understand why we're talking about it. So you already hear the difference in the team dynamics going on between these two squads here.
I fear for Team Liquid in this spot, though. I mean, they have a choice for the big Edwin Van Cleef. Of course, that always risks devolve. But they're also eyeing this South Sea Captain, which we see those crabs. They're like setting the trap, like waiting in the sand. They're like, they're going to come on shore eventually. Let's listen to Love You Lots because it's Edwin Van Cleef. Nope.
Devolve. Good devolve.
Do I kill anything before I devolve?
The only one we might kill would be like a 4-3.
4-3. On average, 3 drops. Or the bad thing for us would be like if they got a good 3 drop with more health, right? But I tend to risk it here. Yeah. Like, just to get more agency in how we trade.
Fair.
Devolve them into a pirate, okay?
Yeah,
that's what I was considering as well.
We're on the same wavelength. Give me a shiny Galactic Crawler.
Those aren't pirates, Muzz. We talked about this.
What do you want me to do? Okay, so I'm inclined to kill the SI with my face and a 1/1.
Yes, that seems quite
and
good to me.
play Primal Fin.
We could think about the Galaka finally, but okay. I mean, do the trades and then play one of them. Probably Primal Fin. I mean, doesn't. You're gonna kill the penguin.
Yeah. Killing the penguin?
Yeah, kill the cute one.
Okay.
It's got beast synergies. Can't have that.
Yeah. They could like Slosh Burglar, the Lotus Agents, and then get like Charge, right?
This is their Lucky Do Buccaneer turn, I think.
I know.
That's what I'm trying to think, like, because we don't have cards to like combo with Valspine, right?
Exactly.
It's also better against Galaka
So many options.
if they play that.
I mean, I don't know if I want to play around Galaka.
Corsair Dagger is also a pretty good turn. And then we have Deckhand Valspine if he has Doppel Evolve.
It's weak
I
to
like
Jade
Corsair
Lightning
Dagger.
though. Like Naga is really weak to Jade Lightning.
But Vilespine's weak against Shade Lightning as well. I think we're not getting much more value from Corsair right now.
I think I like the Naga more.
Yeah, and then we're gonna kill this and leave up the 1/2, right?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Good cards going into 7. We did it, boys!
Oh, thank Christ.
Oh, they top deck the card that wins us the game. Woo!
I don't know if it wins us the game.
I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm not sure, but let me get happy, okay?
Yeah.
Let me be happy.
So the question is, would we develop the second one?
Well, we should think for a long time to tilt them and to represent that we might have other options. Because right now our hand's really linear.
Oh, yeah, let's think about what our totem's doing, right?
We don't want them to do... Yeah, that's what we want to do. It's like...
Well, it's dying to his weapon. Great discussion.
Well, Well, we just want to act like our totem might do so. We want to act like we might not want a totem.
Yeah. Or am I gonna hover totem and think that I do want a totem?
All right, let's totem.
Alright, we totem.
Good talk. All right, we're gonna go.
So, I'm gonna play the Galactic Crawler that I've had since my opening hand.
Yeah, I would hold the second one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'd hold the second one.
Far left, Galactica.
They run a lot of pirates.
Yeah, hold it.
Okay.
We need that sweep.
Yeah, we have no removal.
It's really nothing for you to do.
Yeah.
We're still very ahead. Oh, Deckhand Vilespine, right? Next turn we have Captain Vilespine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Punch
Yes,
that,
I-
Vilespine that, right?
Attack with Deckhand first.
Attack Deckhand in the totem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
2 + 5 is 7. I did the math.
Oh, we didn't play an elemental last turn. Classic mistake.
Yeah.
But 2 + 5 is 7.
2 + 5 is 7. I just actually calculated that to make sure his lay was right.
Yeah, you gotta double check.
Yeah, I agree. 2 + 5 checks out. Let's do that. Let's think, I guess, and then let's do
You're gonna
that.
have to think.
Was that a good bone mare for them?
That was an excellent bone mare for them,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, you
They
bone mare
Vile spined a 3/4 instead of buffing their guy and just trading the 3/4. They would have developed more power. They'd have a Vile Spine in hand with a Deckhand in hand. They'd be crazy if they had bone mare. It's pretty likely they have like a Cold Blood, a Shadow Step, or a Leroy. They've been holding 2 cards for a really long time, which just
Maybe-
we can just fight for the board, right?
Maybe they have a bigger pirate and we could just eye it here, but I think we can.
No, let's go, baby.
Yeah, they got 2/5.
Alright. Galactica's gonna be far left off the link front. Right? Sounds
That's
good.
just correct, yeah. Because the big guy on the left, flame.
So for Ellie's, we got a Firefly and a Tar Creeper left.
Well, Team Liquid wasn't considering. I mean, they did actually think about the Galactica Crawler, but they kind of dismissed it, and now there's 2 of them that was able to grab value. And Team Liquid originally felt like they were really far ahead.
I still think
Is
they're
that the
pretty
case?
far ahead.
Still think they're pretty far ahead?
I mean, Tar Creeper, Vilespine here. The question is, do you want to wipe out the Doppelgangsters and play around a potential Evolve top deck, or do you want to just wipe out the bigger minion if you're in Team Liquid spot? And so now they've seen both Galactica Crawlers. Now that I've seen both Galactica Crawlers, I'm actually starting to think Shaman needs this card to fight the matchup. I mean, this has been an uphill battle for Love You Lots, despite getting a Galactica Crawler on a Naga Corsair.
Yeah, and I think that does tend to also lead into the fact that Rogue has, a pretty decent curve as well to get, reasonable minion pressure onto the board. And also because Shaman lacked a lot of those really powerful cards that help him swing. So if not only is it just Devolve, but it's also Devolve, Maelstrom Portal, and Jade Lightnings are also really key as well. But you're right. I mean, Shaman can struggle sometimes despite having a lot of the good tools.
We're about to see some damage seriously start pouring in. Oh, they don't go for Vilespine here.
Yeah,
Whoa, that's weird. That strands the Vilespine in hand for now.
One thing that's also interesting is that I was going to comment on this, but now it's starting to become more clear, is that I don't think this is a typical Shaman deck. One of them is Tolvir Stoneshaper, and Jockey made a very passing, tongue-in-cheek comment, like, oh, we didn't play an Elemental last turn. But that also, you kind of made an observation at the very beginning. Tar Creeper is not usually included in a lot of these modern token versions. And it's largely because Tar Creeper is actually the higher end of an Evolve target. Very similar to Flame with Faceless. This is why those 2 cards aren't popularly included in those lists.
Yeah.
And now Cobalt Scalebane confirms that it's a little bit of a different list as well.
Yeah. They're putting
what else is it here?
They're putting a lot of emphasis on just mid-range minion combat. And what that spells out for Team Love You Lots is just a ton of respect for Bone Mare and the potential of that card. Let's listen to Team Liquid. They draw South Sea Captain. Looks like they have a strong turn.
Captain Vilespine the Aya, and then trade the Captain in.
Is there like any scenario where we just leave Eye up and go full face with everything else?
No, because we have to Vilespine.
Yeah, Vilespine like the 2/2.
So we push 7 this turn.
We can never leave up the Aya in this situation. It's kind
Why?
of irrelevant, right?
I think
We're getting a
leaving
free
it up.
trade into this. We're getting free trades. Why would we ignore free trades?
Okay, it's free trade. You're right. Let's wait. How many free trades are there though?
Wait, are you sure?
What free trades are there?
We get this captain becomes a 4/4. We punch into here. This 4/4 changes into 2/2. This 3/2 goes face, and he has a 3/3 jade. So we can't really trade into anything, right?
He's gonna trade anyway, right?
Okay,
and
so-
everything has free attack anyway.
Yeah.
But like trading the Aya, he doesn't get bored after. Like this, right? There's no really good trades for him. Whereas if we live the Aya up, it's just like kind of silly because he gets a free trade and then the 3/3 lives.
I'm gonna elemental, scale bane, kill the cap.
Sounds right.
Yeah, just correct.
Sit here and think about things. They're gonna
Alright.
trade the 3/4 and something into our Tark. Oh, our Tark is buffed too.
Yeah, our Tarkeeper's gonna have.
Yes, it's gonna be a big boy. 6/5.
We're just ahead. Really nice.
Wow, yeah, it's just a top deck fest.
Alright. 3 + 5 is 8. 8's most of it.
Pirate's code.
That's a good draw.
Oh, that's a very good draw. Nice.
We don't trade into the scale bane, right? We have enough damage to push now.
No, we don't.
So 6. So this will be at 2 if we use this here. So we bring this to 2 so we don't get wrecked by Maelstrom, face to face, dagger face, right?
Uh huh.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
I think she'll left us.
I wonder.
No. Rip almost.
Oh.
Yep.
Not good.
Good shit.
Not good.
Love to see that.
Okay. So. They have 18 damage.
With
we
our taunt, they would have 6
there any
hitting face.
Good 2, 5, or 6 drops here? The real question.
Not
Argent Commander would be very good. Like if we
No,
taunt and
wait.
totem here, like
No,
we're not
it
gonna
wouldn't.
win. We're not gonna win.
Scalebane trades in anyway.
Well, no, I'm saying if we trade the Scalebane,
Just-
totem, and Fulvia, we're not gonna win the game. You're just gonna punch our
Right,
shield and value trade.
Yeah. Just a sec. I mean, I'm thinking we have to do that in top deck.
What if we
Doppel.
top? Yeah.
But here, let me look. Like 6 drops do not have any like board clear high rolls.
Yeah, I think we just trade here.
I think we have to trade Hero Power Taunt and top deck our way out.
All right.
Like, there's a 7-drop high roll of Baron Geddon next turn. There's like spell damage portal. I don't know. I mean,
I don't
it's,
think we can get a Baron Geddon.
well, if we top deck thing from below.
Bone Mare is some good.
Yeah, but I think it's also just goes to show you that you know, even though you're trying to be creative, sometimes you get the awkward side of stuff. Oh my gosh! Wait, hold on. Maybe we spoke too early.
Well, I mean that's literally what they played to was the one in 16. So can this do it?
Let's see. Let's find out. 3 Argent Commanders? That helps. Is that enough? Well, nope.
5
You're dead
trades
anyways.
in, 6 trades over, 6 and then 12, 13, 14. Still lethal for Team Liquid.
Jeez.
A 2-0 lead as Rogue and Shaman fall to the Rogue from Team Liquid. And a 2-0 lead is a big deal when Rogue is still churning.
Yeah, and you have to start considering, you know, there's some teams that banned Rogue. A lot of teams didn't ban Rogue this week, and they turned out okay. Rogue actually hasn't been dominant at all. This is the first time Rogue's ever won 2 in a row for week 1, and I guess season 2. But now you're starting to really see maybe Rogue has to be feared. It's only 2 games, but it is still a big deal if you're trying to match the counters. And, you know, most importantly, this is supposed to be a good matchup for Team Lovulots.
And it did not pan out that way. Tolvir Stone Shaper is certainly an odd choice. I do like the Tar Creepers.
What about the Cobalt Scalebanes?
That is sort of an awkward choice. I mean, when you go up the curve in parity, that card really breaks a lot of standstills. But Chalky kind of said it in that one. The fact that they just went even so early on, it turned it into somewhat of a top deck war, where the players who draw their big swing cards first, they're just going to have a big advantage. And so what they're just trying to do is have some cards that break that parity moving up the chain. How much of an edge are they going to get in play skill? They're trying to find that in deck building, and so far that hasn't paid off.
Yeah, but the question becomes, what are they replacing for those Scalebanes? You have to start thinking, were they able to, because they finally capitalized on the Galaka Crawler, but because they were holding all these little awkward cards that needed specific sequencing, they couldn't play the Stone Shaper immediately. They had to make sure that the Scalebane came down because it's 5 mana or more, fairly expensive for that deck. Did those cards cost them valuable time to set up tempo when Rogue usually struggles to clear all of those totems that come out there because instead they're playing meteor minions, which is what Vial Spines wants to do, which is what you want to get those value trades into.
Yeah, I would guess that maybe Patches was cut from this deck because you have the 2 Galaka Crawlers in here. If you're playing the board as hard as you are with Tar Creepers and with Tolvirs, you probably cut Bloodlust, and Scalebane takes that place as your power tool that really beefs up your minions.
I would love to see the deck list and see how it feels, and I'm sure in practice it even made sense. It's just curious of, did they try to tinker too much with the winning formula?
That's always something that you have to pay attention to when players are playing unique-looking deck lists. Did you get too fancy? Oftentimes I have been very much guilty of that. I had fancy play syndrome where I try to do way too much of my deck list, and it ends up falling through and not performing. But still all smiles over on Lovulots' side. They're laughing it up about something. But 0-2, no laughing matter.
It does tend to be more of a lighthearted dynamic. If you talk about team dynamics, of course, with Lovulots, they tend to be very lighthearted with a lot of discussion. Even if they're losing, it feels like they share in their sorrows. So whenever you hear Zalay streaming or you hear Muzzy, they always go, oh, that's unfortunate. And if they have the buddy on the line with them, they even kind of banter about it a little bit. Like, man, you just got outplayed. You're not a Quest Mage gamer, that kind of thing. And then they kind of jab each other a little bit sarcastically, but it's all fun and games for them.
Yeah.
Which I think is important to realize because in the end, as much as we crunch numbers and try to squeeze out percentages, there's a lot of lightheartedness in Hearthstone. It's very whimsical.
You have to be having fun. I mean, if you're going to put this much time into something that you care about, you got to have fun doing it.
Especially if it's a video game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game at the end of the day. I mean, you're supposed to have fun, even when it matters, even when it counts. Sure, it might be painful, right after a big loss, but you pick up and you move on. That's what this is all about, is enjoying this communion that we all have together.
All right, game 3. Looking like it's a defensive mage of some kind. So let's go ahead and listen into the early stage mulligans, catch what they're whispering about.
Have Gunther mage, right? It's the only thing that makes sense. You wouldn't pick OTK mage into this, so it's never that.
Or
it's got to be Gunther.
Freeze mage?
Pick tempo into this, I don't think. So freeze or Gunther. I think captain is a keep. I'm not sure about agent.
I think I like agent, but I'm even thinking about Vial Spine, but probably not.
Just this, right? Keep these 3?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it.
I agree. They kept far right. Backstab's good.
They didn't keep anything.
No, they kept far right.
Job's done.
Are you sure?
Yes, card number 3.
Okay.
Okay.
I actually kind of like having Vial Spine, I don't know.
Gamer. No, we're
Wait,
not.
yeah,
We're
I'm a
better.
better rock gamer.
Let's go!
Shot gamer.
Not slow rolling that.
All right, the one on the right is the one from Arcanologist.
Yes. Good call. All right.
Is it ever
I think it's coin SI trade. Or you think it's captain backstab? No, we can't do that. We have to get the SI value now.
Yeah.
It's just
But I'm
coin
thinking
SI.
maybe even if we use box, maybe we just use box up 2 or no.
Oh, what kind of mage they are. Backstab doesn't save us that much, right?
No. Yeah, let's just go in a shine. That seems good.
Yeah.
Ha, this guy's toast.
We'll get a lot of information next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they'll probably play the secret here. Next
Secret
turn.
into Valle means
Forgets, I think. I think past this turn, they're much more likely to remove it every other turn. With Vile Spine coming in the future, like, this prevents them from... So it prevents the 3 damage. They can't Cold Blood early, which we'd be unhappy... I mean, we have Valet for that.
Okay, I guess it lines up our Valet to kill like a Naga Corsair as well.
Yeah, I want to get the Tar Creeper out of my hand ASAP because of mostly Vile Spine, but also just, you know, removal in general.
Okay.
They still have a Pirate in their deck, so they can, like, Captain and hit us for 5, and I'm unhappy about that.
Tar Creepers leaves us more flexible for next turn.
Right.
It's a nice block. Like, nice block come into the Valet next turn.
They've played, they played two of their cup cards now, so they have 1 left, and their plan was Firefly, Coin SI. It could be like a backstab. They could be really thinking we were aggro, because we obviously went Q Quest Mage, and nobody has played Slow Mage yet, so it might have been on the thought process that we were just tempo.
Man, the team dynamics here are really shaping up interestingly. I love you lots. Still high spirits. And how could you not be with an Arcanologist draw? While Team Liquid, they seem to be really tense in every single decision.
Well, they're still kind of figuring out what kind of mage this is. They first said, oh, it's got to be the burn mage, or it's got to be the freeze mage, and it seems to be an interesting mix of stuff. I mean, the way Chalky kind of described this, he said it was a slow mage, which I guess he just means...
Well, he said no one's seen slow mage yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that means they're slow mage. But
well, slow mage doesn't even... When someone describes a deck as slow, it just means that it takes a while to ramp up its big power pushes.
It's
not
main
even necessarily a
objective.
control deck. It's just a very slow mid-range deck.
Its main objective to turning the corner comes at a later stage. You know, think about Medivh, for instance. I think Bone Mare could still very easily be in here, given that we see Tar Creeper. You know, so far they've had Tar Creeper in every single deck, which is pretty astonishing.
I was actually theorizing, what if they also have Cobalt Scalebane in this deck? Just because it goes well with Tar Creeper and it goes well with a bunch of other stuff.
It's a very interesting take that they have so far.
I don't know, man. It also feels like something that they would do, just say, well, let's just put Tar Creeper or Scalebane in every one of our decks.
You know, it's easy to look at a game plan and when it fails and go, bad idea. But, you know, that's why we have these tournaments, is to see what actually works and what doesn't over the long term. Let's listen into Love You Lots and hear what they're thinking as they roll into their turn number 5.
Well, so here I think we develop our right secret. And
Ping is 3/5.
so we ping the 3/5
Maybe not the 3/5. Well, the thing is, if we ping the 1/2, we're not pinging the 1/2 next turn because we want to ping on 6 on the Tar Creeper.
Well, no, we're going to valet something else. They're going to play a bigger minion than this. We didn't see any 5s out of them. We didn't see... we might Fireball next turn if they did play a big 5. If they have Scalebane...
If they have Scalebane, we'd Fireball that. And
we could Fireball, and if the buff hit the 1/2, we could ping it off to kill it, which would be really nice. Also, the ping on the 1/2 raises the least suspicion about Flame Strike, if that's important. I think we ping the 1/2 just because it's got some upsides.
Pinging the Tar Creeper now... Yeah, I see what you're saying. I like the Scalebane argument is convincing. I'm fine.
If they Cold Blood the Tar Creeper, we can always Fireball it, so...
Yeah.
Alright.
I think the least suspicious part is nice.
Yeah.
It's just that I think a lot of times...
I don't care much about telegraphing Flame Strike. I think that's a bit of a bad argument, but just the fact that that's a small extra upside is kind of nice.
I think we can just leave the Tar Creeper alive when we Flame Strike. It's actually not
Yeah, it's just a 1/1. Unless they hit a Bone Mare, which we don't want them to. But, because we're going to be Flame Striking right before their Bone Mare turn.
Yeah, so that's an argument for pinging the Tar Creeper. It's better chance to...
I don't know, the 1/2?
Like, what benefit do we get from Vile Spine, from copying a Vile Spine? We can just use the Vile Spine.
Just the
later,
fact that we have the 1-mana Assassinate, basically.
Yeah. I mean, there's that, but we have Spellbreaker. Like, I think I don't really value that.
How good
That's
is
what the secret is.
How good is the Tar Creeper though? What matchup do you think this is?
Too soon.
We should just Shadowcast the Tar Creeper. It'd be silly to play this. I understand they might not kill it, but like, I think it's ridiculous to do this, and then if they top deck both to play or something, it's just bad.
Okay. I'm just.
So what does Shadowcaster tell us about the rest of their deck?
Nothing. I mean, we know the rest of their deck, right? We just didn't know if they were running 5s.
All right, so we definitely want to clear going into their turn 7, right?
See, yeah. So Medivh pinged just killing the Shadowcaster. We put a 2/3 on the board to kill the Tar Creeper with the Flame Strike. It gives up our Medivhs, but it heals us for 4 because I definitely don't want a Nova, I don't want a Poly, and I don't want a Fireball.
Yeah.
What to do?
So it's either Medivh ping the 4/4 to heal for 4, or just ping the Tar Creeper and say go, and that raises, a world of suspicion.
Excuse me.
Time runs out on fire.
All right. So they have a 1/1 Tar Creeper that cost 1.
I don't think we can. We just dagger, Corsair, go face, right?
Sure, yeah.
There's no way we can
Yeah, that's the first thing
there's no way we
in my
can
mind.
get past this.
Yeah, let's not trade anymore.
That's not trade anymore.
Never trade.
We're so done. I feel like when this deck draws like this, you can't do anything, Like,
I mean, it depends on what the
something.
other deck is, but yeah.
oh, it's not, Are you sure we have him in the deck? Feels bad.
It's turn 7 for both teams and coming up in a minute here, and Team Liquid is still unsure of what deck this mage is playing, and that's kind of the power of the mage class right now.
I'm looking at the hand and I'm like unsure of what the deck is at the moment.
It looks like it's just a control mage.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's what I would assume it is. But for me to take a guess at what the top end is when I see Tar Creeper, Polymorph, Flame Strike, Blizzard, Frost Nova, Medivh's Valley, Fireball, Frost. Like, what is the two top end cards that really pull weight here? Is it Alexstrasza?
It's probably got Medivh.
I'd assume so.
And I assume it also has Frostlich Jaina.
That's a very great assumption as well. Does it have Alexstrasza?
I don't think you need Alexstrasza. Alexstrasza is often used as an aggressive tool, and if you're putting it in for defensive purposes, which what seems this deck's primary thing to do, because you have like polymorph and whatnot, it seems like Alexstrasza is very weak for 9 mana, because you're not often going to revive yourself for 15. It's often going to be like, for like 5 to 7 or something like that. And there's better ways you can utilize that mana slot.
Your Team Liquid.
But at the same time, Alexstrasza gives you offensive potential, so you can just burn out decks that don't have heal.
That's right. Like against Warlock, for instance, how much chip damage is this deck really going to get? Alexstrasza feels like it becomes a good tool in that situation.
That's true. Well, they like tap themselves down anyways. Alexstrasza is pointless. Alexstrasza is more good against like shamans and other decks that you're spending so much of your like removal trying to clear the board, and then eventually Alexstrasza switches it, and then you're able to threaten your opponent.
Yeah.
Because they can't heal.
Let's go ahead and listen to Love You Lots. So they draw Ice Barrier. Still lots on the table for them if they want to find their win condition.
The top again. It's getting just so likely that they have bad cards in their hand, and that we just need to pick up the pieces off the top to win the game. Like,
Give us that.
we've got a lot of time.
Jaina.
Barrier's a bad draw.
Yeah, no, of course. We want to hit 9 drops, we want to hit card draw, we want to hit glyph. Those are the main things. Or
Kirkleaf, right?
Spellbreaker first, right?
Spellbreaker, deck complete. And
It doesn't
play around
matter.
Meteor.
Play
No,
around.
Stackhand first.
Yeah, it's
That
deck
doesn't matter.
first in case they steal it.
We already know the secret. It's block.
Your magic shall not save you.
You don't have Bone Mare.
They don't have Bone Mare, guys.
yeah, that's got to be Leroy Shadowstep Cold Blood. So they run Shadowcaster. we're very safe at 16 if we just wanted to like blizzard and ping.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm
gonna blizzard ping. I just don't know where I'm pinging the Van Cleef.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're pinging the Van Cleef. We can always ping the Spellbreaker next turn. They'd have to get Shadowcaster, or they'd have to Shadow. If they Shadow Step their Spellbreaker, they can't really silence a Van Cleef. It doesn't do anything. So.
Shadow Step the Edwin, and then it'd only be a 6 again.
Yeah, it'd be a 6/6 again. They're kind of likely to do that. So that kind of lets us ping. But pinging the Van Cleef gives us just a clear if they do have Leroy as their last card, which is quite likely. Or Cold Blood. So I'm going to ping the Van Cleef.
This just commits us to blizzarding next turn, which we like because he's out of cards. We don't need to save blizzards.
Yeah, I mean, we could top deck like Maze Valet, Frostbolt. We could end up pinging and like just setting up. I don't know. But yeah,
commits the wrong word. It intends to blizzard next turn, which we like. Yes, we want to blizzard.
We're very okay with that.
Our blizzard's a very expensive Frostbolt.
Alright.
Wait, what?
They didn't play anything, so.
Yeah, they passed. So again, another situational card.
So yeah.
We could set the barrier and use a Nova.
Card. It's just a minion they didn't want to play into our AoE.
Yeah, true. We could set the barrier and play the Nova.
I wonder.
And then like that does seem kind of silly. I think that's clear.
I think better would be polymorph.
If they pop us off the top, we still have the barrier and we stabilize usually from there.
And we have another block too, so I want a blizzard. Nova gets like.
Yeah.
Do we want
Yeah. What do you
I think polymorph ping was the other play if we weren't blizzard.
Polymorph is a better card than blizzard. We have two freezes. We need to deal with a big thing if they draw Bone Mare and make big stuff.
Okay.
We need to be able to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need pressure, right? Shaku is not enough.
One Flamestrike and one Blizzard are gone, so.
Oh god.
I'm pretty sure this is either Freeze Mage or Control, right, with Jaina.
Alright. What does our hand have to be for us to win?
Hey!
We're just gonna play that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Good.
Chop gamer.
Do not fear.
Hey! We drew our 9 win condition.
Wield it.
Winning a game feels amazing, man.
I mean, they got a Shaku card. Don't get comfortable.
Hey, maybe it's Ice Block and not Jaina.
Eater of Secrets, Monkus.
Whoa.
Wow, that Firelands portal kind of woke me up there. I wasn't sure what was going to happen here because it felt like Levy Loss had a lot of inevitability. And we kind of mentioned that, again, we don't have access to the deck lists, but we can theorize based on what we see. And I thought Frosty Jaina would come out here, but I didn't expect Team Liquid to still have a game plan. They actually can formulate a push here. The question is it enough? And with 2 freezes and a polymorph, I'm going to venture and say no.
Yeah, I think that the 2 freezes really shuts down a lot of this. But they are out of blizzards at this point. And Firelands Portal does represent, a good chunk of their remaining health. If Lovelots' plan was to stabilize with the Ice Block post block pop, that could represent some problems with the Firelands Portal being burned. Although I imagine Team Liquid's going to use that card just about no matter what next turn. But they have another Shaku card potentially coming.
All right, well, let's go ahead and tune into Lovey Lots and see how they're going to turn this around.
Good, but
let's draw 2.
we don't need to poly.
Okay, I agree. We have AoE.
We have a lot of cards that let it. Yeah, Frostbolt's one of them that lets us get a Water Alley. So we're gonna Frostbolt, we're gonna ping, and we're going to Frost Nova, I believe.
You don't want a Nova Doom?
I do not want a Nova Doom.
No,
I don't think we need Doom.
No reason.
They have just dumb minions. We have all the time in the world with Ellies and good stuff.
Time melts away. The time is now.
Good stuff.
Ellie number 2.
As the minion and kill it. Then we don't play the swash. our Shaku can get more value, and he can't clear anything. He's used both blizzards.
They can have run portal, right? Or potion.
Yeah, but then it doesn't matter because we still get the 3/3 up and the portal up, right? Value if we leave it up. So killing it this turn is ideal.
Wait, so you want to kill the elemental?
Yes.
I was thinking about portal in face.
But what are we gonna get? How do we win?
I mean,
This is
you
gonna
have.
heal.
He's gonna heal for 3.
Yeah, but if we portal this, he's already used double blizzard and a flame strike. How much AoE can he possibly
you
run?
mean that you won't have? Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Okay. Yeah,
Right?
go with that.
Okay, sure.
We win if they
We're not
don't
gonna play
have
this wash. We shouldn't play this wash. You can fireball this.
He played one fireball already.
But like the thing is, Shaku can get more value, and like it's just not gonna work if we go face unless we hit a charger that turn and then hit Leroy.
Mm-hmm.
Just Nova Doom set up.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that, and then we have
Where's
Alex.
the ping go?
The ping goes on. So we have Volcanic Potion, we have Medivh's Valet, we have Fireball. So I don't think we want to ping the 2/7 for Fireball reasons.
We want to ping one of the 3 health because then vote.
We ping Shaku.
I think we ping SI7 because we're more likely to deal with Shaku than SI7. And so
Which one would they shadow step out of the fray? They'd shadow step Shaku.
I mean, last time they
then it
shadow
doesn't
step
matter.
SI.
Then it doesn't matter. So is there?
I want to ping the SI because if we're like killing one but not the other, we're killing the Shaku, and then the ping's relevant.
The time is now.
Okay, good thinking.
We're just looking for any excuse to any.
Yeah, right.
No one cares.
I mean, pinging face had some merit, I guess.
Sure.
You never know.
Fuck 'em.
Because we might not, Alex.
I think we know.
Just Leroy, maybe? They grab it pretty quick, so it's an answer, I guess.
I should commit this card. There's no reason not to.
So.
Yeah.
There's no combo card aside from Cold Blood that we can get.
An incredible discovery.
Hey, they're out of our leads now. Like 2 Novas are gone, 2 Blizzards are gone, 1 Flame Strike.
So it's only Volcanic Potion really that gives them in it.
I don't think we're
Definitely Cliff.
Yeah.
Alex.
We could slow roll it a bit, but no. We got Volk.
We got Volk. Okay, so our play's gonna be a poly Volk.
We don't need the Kabbalist Tome, we can just Volk. We can take the guaranteed Volk. Yeah.
We're gonna poly the 2/7 Volk.
Are we sure we want a poly? We can use the poly for another thing. Let's look at the board real quick. So they'll have a 2/5, a 3/2, and a 2/1, and they have to trade their 2/1 in, which that sucks too because that heals us.
Yeah.
We don't need the poly. We don't need to.
Yeah, if they draw Bone there, it's like
we want the poly for another Water Alley guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
convinced now.
Yeah. Like, because this leaves them with the 2/1.
Alright, shocking.
The 2/5 doesn't do anything.
This is the third Ellie. You said they're gonna tap at the 4th one.
I said the 4th, yeah.
Called third. Come on.
Yeah, Zolay called third.
Tap.
No, they're not
We
gonna
can't
tap
beat
here.
this.
They're not gonna tap here,
Yeah.
dude.
There's no way you're winning though.
There really isn't a way they win.
That's barrier or counter spell.
Probably barrier. I can't imagine them playing counterspell, right? It's never trade, so we can test it with this.
Wait. Is there like any chance we just freeze the elemental?
If we freeze it, and then he gets another elemental by pinging Arcanologist.
Yeah.
The only way we win is clearing the elemental, and or killing off our Arcanologist, which means clearing the elemental.
And then drawing Bone Mare, I guess, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess we'll test the secret. It's barrier. Yep. I mean, I think realistically our chance to win this is like so whatever a 1 out of 11 into a 1 out of 10 is.
Oh, we're also healing for 9 now.
But we have to stick minions. There's no way we win if we give more elementals.
See in the lines.
The way is so good. Holy. Yeah, I'm gonna Alex them. Damn, Slay's so good.
Had the read, man.
Slay's a monster. Tap out, but don't, because I want.
Oh.
They attacked. Pass.
Okay, well, we're making a fourth belly.
Yep. This is it. This is the fourth. I gotta get it before they concede.
All right, well, it seems like Lovey Lots has ran away with this one, and you can see the power of the Control Mage. Once you get stabilization, Frostless Janus powers on full display. That card is insane in the final stages of a game.
Yeah, it really shines when it comes to these matchups where your goal is to simply exhaust all of your opponent's resources. In a lot of combo matchups, that's where Frostless Janus struggles, or where they have these colossal win conditions where all the damage kind of comes at once, when it doesn't require a lot of board presence and things like that. But in these styles of matchups, Frostless Janus is definitely MVP.
Yeah, and Team LUL finally gets their first win, although 5 minutes ago they were saying, oh man, we finally got our first win. You can see how comfortable they were. They were cruising to that victory, but the damage has been done by that rogue deck.
No doubt.
And now, also, their surprise has kind of come out here. You know, they said that they're just playing like a control deck. What else do they have in their disposal? Do they have any other tricks up their sleeve? Are they playing Archmage Antonidas? Are they playing some other late game options like Medivh the Guardian?
Yeah, those are great questions to ask. I mean, when you see Tark Reaper across all 3 decks, when you're not able to pinpoint your opponent's mage deck until, like, you know, turn 38 into the game or whatever it was, that is a bit of a difficulty, and it does put you in a position where you feel like you don't really know what's going to happen with your opponent's remaining decks. Now, that being said, we've only seen one deck from Team Liquid, and in the first match of the day, we saw a lot of different tricks going on. So what do you think has to happen here in terms of surprises if Team Liquid even has any of those?
I gotta take this. I'm sorry, I'll be right back.
Yeah, so
don't worry, Stunt Double will take over.
So the thing to really think about is, you know, the metagame really sets itself in week number 1 of Trinity Series. You'll often see players play fairly standard styles of things. And then as those tech choices come out and as those deck lists show themselves as popular, that's really where you start seeing those big tech choices. Do you anticipate that we'll see any of those here in week 1?
I'm just a Stunt Double.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that seeing those tech choices in week 1 is really where that's sort of a unique thing when teams do this. I think that if there's any team that's going to do it, Team LUL is one of those teams. Again, we've already seen the triple Tar Creeper come out. We've seen elemental synergy across 2 decks. Are they crazy enough to play like an elemental style warrior that maybe utilizes like Frozen Crusher as one of their big threats? Do you anticipate anything else like that from Team LUL?
I'm just a Stunt Double, man.
God, Frody always sticks me with this guy. So Team Liquid, again, 2-1 lead in this series, and that's really a big talking point. The team that is that 1 game ahead really starts to pull away with it as those counter options reduce. Again, in Last Hero Standing, the deck that wins is the deck that stays on board. The deck that loses, it's then out of contention.
Honda that I said
and
I want 1 million.
you know, it's a first to 6 wins is going to take the set. So with that Mage still online, it does have a lot of potential counterplay. Any combo damage, those sorts of things, and really just the fact that there's a clear vulnerability to that deck. And sometimes the best play against Frostless Janus is simply to do nothing. Don't let them get water elementals in that situation. I mean, do you anticipate that Team Liquid has a deck that potentially suits that style, like maybe a Dead Man's Hand Warrior or something?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Dead Man's Hand Warrior definitely has its role in the place in metagame, especially against control decks. If you really think about some of the late game scenarios that Dead Man's Hand excels at, it's specifically when you try to win through a war of attrition, because they have infinite resources to remove. What really becomes problematic is things like Quest Mage, because then they have infinite damage to match your infinite life. With the exception, of course, being if you have too much life for them to end you in 1 turn and they don't have the ice block up to stop your follow-up damage, and you're able to end it right there. So for the next game, we're going to jump straight into Paladin versus Mage.
Ooh.
Now, I feel like Murloc Paladin has a lot of game against Mage, primarily because of how much pressure it can put on. But Mage also has some good tools if they're able to land early Doomsayers that can stop the Murloc Paladin's momentum. So let's go ahead and tune in immediately and listen to what Team Liquid is going to talk about for this opening mulligan.
And we kind of have the early game.
I think we full keep.
Yeah, I'm thinking full keep too.
I mean, the only question is Hydrologist, right? Because we always keep Megastorm and we always keep War Leader.
Yeah.
I kind of like full keep, to be honest.
I think just full keep. We can always rip a rock pool. It doesn't matter, right? Like, it's good enough.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are right. Like, Arcanologist and Doomsayer are too valuable. We got neither of them.
Not yet.
Four capped.
Nah, they form all.
They form alt.
Oh, my deck tracker bugged then. Real? You
Yeah.
sure?
Yeah, they form all.
I mean, we're gonna find out pretty quick, depending on the quality of their hand. For me,
Not
it shows a 4 keep. For me, it shows a 4 keep. But
Shows
I also roped out my mulligan, which might have bugged it or something. I don't know.
Might have bugged up.
Ever go Charm Coin Tide Collar?
I don't think so. The odds it hits the Tide Collar are too low. I think it's either Tide Collar no chum or Tide Collar coin chum. I don't think it's ever chum coin Tide Collar. Too low.
I think we want to play around Doomsayer though, and just go one if we go with either.
Okay, so just Charm.
So
maybe?
either Sham or Tide Collar.
Collar then, right?
Tide Collar, right? I like the Tide Collar because it doesn't like the ping.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I like playing around the Doomsayer. Smart moves show.
We glyph.
We glyph every time.
Yeah, we played this pan out a lot. All right. So we'll think to make it seem like we have a 2-mana removal.
You could hover hero power, maybe.
No.
I'm not gonna hover anything. I'm not a hover gamer. I'm just gonna sit and think.
Okay.
Like I think it's more
Let's
likely.
glyph and look at our options. We need time for that.
We don't need that much time, but okay, I'm gonna do it pretty soon. All right. So we've got a Blizzard that I want to pick. We've got an Arcane Explosion that has some merit, given that we have a Blood Mage Thalnos, and there's a Mirror Steed that we're never gonna pick.
I like
I'm
the
thinking
sound of
Blizzard. Blizzard's a good card.
It's like a Thalnos Arcane Explosion, but it freezes.
But
too.
it freezes. Well, the Thalnos Arcane Explosion.
It's
costs
2 mana.
Yeah, that's.
But we don't want to AoE for 2.
We have time. We have time. We have plenty of time against this deck.
So much thought just being put into the first couple turns here. And it's primarily on Love You Lots' end, as Team Liquid has a pretty simple understanding of what they need to do, which is put pressure on. But Love You Lots has to be the one that budgets the mana correctly. The first 6 crystals you spend are the most important for setting up the foundation of whether or not you can stabilize with a lot of life, or perhaps you're stabilizing when it's too late.
Yeah, it's a very big deal. And that's a lot of what control play is about, especially when your tools aren't necessarily guaranteed sweepers, like Blizzard, for instance.
Right.
Getting a Blizzard off of a glyph is a really big deal in this matchup. It helps stave off the pressure from Gentle Megasaur, helps save the pressure from Murloc War Leader. Those are really the 2 big power turns that Team Liquid has. And so Love You Lots, they have to sacrifice early life and development in order to try to find those big swing turns.
Yeah, I do want to clarify, by the way, it was mentioned during the team communications about the uses of Deck Tracker. That is allowed according to the rules, as per the rule set that was released prior to Week 1. So, and it seems like they're using their tools very effectively. Some people are taking notes, and they can also have the ability to keep track that way as well.
Yeah, Chalky, a really big hand tracker when it comes to games like this. When he's able to take notes, he's one of the best hand readers in the world. It's really something spectacular to have insight on. I've practiced with Chalky a lot on playing games, and we've come to the end. He's like, "Oh, his two cards are Ragnaros and Tyrion." I'm like, how on earth could you know that? And he's like, oh, he's going to think between Ragnaros and Tyrion. He's going to play Tyrion, and he's going to play Ragnaros. So we have checks to both. And then I watched that playing out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're like a prophet, man. I just never would have guessed. In my head, I'm like, quality consecrate, maybe?
Time runs out on me.
And another tough turn from Lovely Lots here. I think they're debating how they want to spend here. And as they try to have their third Blizzard in a row. So Liquid's going to have to face a wall of Blizzards coming up soon. Let's tune in and find out what they're going to do.
Winter's coming.
Color.
Okay, so what does he wanna?
Wait, do we put it next to the collar?
Do we put it
on
far
the
left?
So would you rather have a hydrologist or a tide color later on? Like if they would meet your tide color? It has 2 health though. It dies to Blizzard.
Yeah, but we can. That's like in 4 turns or in 3 turns. If it lives that long, we win anyways.
All right.
War leader smack the face. Let's go.
I was down to roll board leader and just attack at the end.
Pretty sure it was a 4 keep.
Okay.
Throwing that out there. We drew valet. Beautiful.
Okay. So we have a 4 mana.
Beautiful.
We have a 4 mana card. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we took 18 damage in 3 turns.
Wow.
That was rough.
That hurt.
Right.
Quite a lot.
A lot of this hurt this game.
Yeah, it looks like a 4. It does.
Yeah. This is gonna be a Mega Sword, Zlay. That was a 4 cube, Zlay.
Death rattle.
Death rattle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we can just go like 1/1 Divine Favor next turn or something.
Yep. Perfect.
Okay. So
We gotta. Yeah, I'm very upset. We're gonna valet ping.
we're valleying the war leader and the mer, right?
So we can leave them with.
We want to
clear a Blizzard. Yeah, right. So we're gonna kill the Murlocs.
What to do?
We're just, jeez, not going well. Not going great.
Hurting.
I'm glad we didn't cast this AI. That part worked out great.
Yeah, nailed it.
The part where they did all the mana on Murloc's War Leader Megasaur.
Right, not
rough.
great. Very rough. The part where if they have a weapon, we're popped here at 1. Also not great.
Yeah.
And we look for a weapon here.
So I think we should put it next to the Megasaur. Or do we want the pleb to die to Meteor?
We want it far left.
Far left.
Pleb to die is far left. Yeah, it's far left.
Yeah, it's better if it dies.
The light dims, but we fight.
It's pretty good. 3 mana, 3 draw.
Oh, blades
That's
are good,
great.
man. Let's just
Oh,
kill him.
that's so good. Oh crap.
There's only one place.
Me face or
The
me
face.
trade?
Does it matter? It doesn't matter, right? If we want to attack, we attack. If we don't, we don't. So we should Blizzard first, because that's we always do that.
Yeah.
Getaway that should have been
The 1/1.
It's
yeah,
all one.
it's always
Vanilla.
1/1. Yeah. And
All right.
now we
We
trade.
trade.
Now it's dead.
Right.
Lovey Lots hanging in by a thread.
Bluegill Warrior as well.
Well, I mean, it's an aggressive deck. I've seen Bluegill Warriors. I've also seen, hold on, Cold Light Oracle. Wait, not Cold Light Oracle. Grimscale Oracles in some of these deck versions. This is an all-out aggro Murloc Paladin, which is the correct nomenclature for it, because a lot of people play mid-range Murloc Paladin. They call it an aggro deck. It's not true. This is the aggro version of it.
And this Rallying Blade is such a big deal. Lovey Lots was looking to try to stabilize this game at around 3 life. Hover there until they found Jaina, Alex, something to recover their life total, maybe even Ice Barrier. But getting popped here and having no real defense against this board, maybe they get an extra turn out of this with the Tar Creeper here, but this is dire straits.
Tar Creeper.
Blood Mage.
Blood Mage and Hero Power. They can kill the 5/2. That way they won't die to. Oh wait, but what happens? What happens to
Crazed Alchemist?
Yeah, to the Crazed Alchemist.
You flip it to 3 health. So Crazed
then
Alchemist plus Bluegill Warrior
will finish
in the game. Yeah. So it's Arcane Intellect first, then maybe.
Well, I mean, let's go ahead and tune in and see if Lovely Lots can navigate out of this.
Oh,
it saves us. It guarantees we live, and it saves us more health than the Tar Creeper. Yeah. And then we freeze next turn, and we Alex ourselves. And if we miss, all we lose out on is pinging a 1/1. Does that change much? It makes the Tar Creeper die on board, which sucks.
Sunkeeper Terror.
Sunkeeper Terror kills us.
We're dead to Terror, man.
I'm gonna Arcane it, right?
Okay. Okay.
We did not hit it.
All right.
Yeah, I think every card kills us regardless. Steed is the same, it doesn't kill us. Kings kills us. Terran kills us.
It's better to...
You love my new recipe.
This still doesn't kill us by 1.
Yeah.
Archer is better.
If we top deck Nova, we can...
Killed us.
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous or not, it's a 3-1 lead for Team Liquid. Bluegill Warrior charging in.
Well, I don't think it's that ridiculous. This deck list also performed pretty well towards the later stages of month 1 of Knights of the Frozen Throne. If you looked at some of the deck statistics, Murloc mid-range Paladin struggled a little bit because of how much Pirate Warrior and Priest were climbing in relevance. And the reason why Murloc Paladin win percentage was so high still was because of Jade Druid. And then a lot of the Murloc Paladins started playing more aggressive. They played Cold Light Seers, they played Divine Favor, they started cutting some of their top end. And like I said, they even played one of them had a Grimscale Oracle in their deck list, and I was like, what?
That's a little crazy.
It's a little crazy, but when you push out that much tempo, and that was back when Warlord gave the buff, it was very powerful. Now again, I didn't agree with that choice specifically, but that's one card out of 30, and the general sentiment was that aggressive Murloc Paladin, aggro Murloc Paladin, was actually a pretty solid deck.
And Team LUL was on the verge of really turning that corner there. It was the early start from Team Liquid that was so strong that kept them under that pressure. You know, despite the 4-mana Blizzard that was on that turn. You know, they didn't have Doomsayer, would have been checked by the Crazed Alchemist, of course, but they didn't have Frost Nova, didn't find an Ice Barrier. There were a couple key cards that could have kept them into that game, but the strength of Murloc Paladin is that it doesn't want to give you the time to find those answers. It puts you to the test, ideally, at every single turn.
Yeah, it's like they said during the comms, it was a 4-keep. It's something that had the God Hand. And Murloc Paladin, at least in the current metagame, has some of the strongest nut draws possible.
Yeah.
If you look at some of those defensive control decks, their nut draws involve drawing cards, you know, and even then, drawing cards doesn't exactly guarantee you an answer to it. And we've seen Priest even have ideal draws. They draw turns 2, 3, 4, land Raza on 5, have Anduin ready for 8, and they still lose. And it's largely because they couldn't stabilize in time when Hunter's pressuring them for Bear Shark. When you have decks that are so powerful at snowballing the board, especially with tribal-based synergies, it gets pretty crazy pretty fast.
And mind you, this is no Rockpool Hunter that came into play in the early stages. And that's one of the tools that Murloc Paladin typically snowballs with early on, is Rockpool Hunter. The lack of that tool, despite that, there was just no control in sight. Really, the Megasaur landing the Death Rattle effect was so big for Team Liquid. That extra 4 damage really put them in a great spot.
And, you know, the Murloc Paladin being able to get a win here, too, shutting down the Mage, means that maybe the Warlock and Shaman will be more free to come out.
Shaman is out for Team LUL right now. It's still there for Team Liquid, but and I totally agree with you. The fact that they've lost some of those heavier anti-decks against Shaman means that it's going to have some free reign when it comes to Paladin and Warrior. Unless that Paladin happens to be control, unless the Warrior happens to be anti-aggro, things like that.
Well, even then, I mean, I know control I know Shaman still has a lot of game against Control Paladin, even though Control Paladin has a lot more clears. We're talking about Primordial Drake and Equality Consecrations. It still has good game against it. It's very similar to how they face against those Quest Warriors that had a lot of those clears as well. You just have to pace yourself, but the problem is identifying correctly and being able to mulligan. So more information is at your fingertips, the better. And that's why having more of these lives is important, because sometimes gathering those 2 bits of information of, oh, they have Crazed Alchemist, oh, they're running this kind of package including Cobalt Scalebane, that can make the difference maker on whether or not you're able to make the correct read and plays at a given time.
Yeah, information is always a big deal, but in Last Hero Standing, it can really change the dynamic of a particular matchup. You know, not showing a card can catch your opponent off guard there. You know, ideally for Team Liquid, they wouldn't have to have shown that Bluegill Warrior, but it's already done its job. It got a surprise win. And so that was an important one, as we saw, of course, in our first match. Went back and forth the entire way until Virtus.pro was able to take 3 straight games with Control Paladin. But right now, Love You Lot's trailing 3-1 in this Last Hero Standing. The first team to get 6 wins takes the set.
That's right. And as you guys can see, Virtus.pro and Planet Otter are pretty even. The progression is actually inwards, so it starts off on the outside. So it was Hunter and Priest that was able to get the wins first, and then it kind of went until Virtus.pro got the wins with Paladin at the very end. And once again, it was a Control Paladin that was getting the wins, which is unusual given the fact that Control Paladin isn't even seen regularly in ladder or regular tournaments. And when it does, interestingly enough, ever since Ungoro, a lot of the success has been more of those Control Paladins. We've seen a handful of people do very well at DreamHacks and the Hearthstone Championship Tour off the back of N'Zoth and Control Paladins. And yet, for some reason, it's still not really respected. Why do you think that is?
I think a lot of it just comes down to the timing of the deck. It struggles against a lot of matchups, but in a tournament meta, you're going to be playing against a lot of different decks. If you have the right choice at the right time, that's when unique decks really take a big turn and put up these big performances when it comes to tournaments. That's part of what makes the play so dynamic and interesting, is that it's not like ladder, where in ladder you want to be, if your main goal is just purely win rate, you want to be playing the best deck in the format.
Yeah, well, we'll see what ends up being the case here. There's a lot of decks that can answer Murloc Paladin, at least go even with it reasonably. And we're going to turn to a good old Paladin versus Paladin. I kind of wonder, you know, with maybe some trickery up Team LUL sleeves, what do they have in store for us? And that is a small-time recruits, and I'm sensing an aggro Paladin right back, but of a different variant.
Who was it? Asia Pacific playoffs?
It was Ouya. Ouya played Prince Keliseth, and Brian Kibler saw Prince Keliseth in his deck lists and said, I think that deck is good. I'm going to pick him as my my underdog.
Yeah, and insisted on calling it hand buff Paladin, despite the fact that Prince Keliseth was literally the only buff in the deck and doesn't buff your hand.
Yeah, it buffs your deck. It's a deck buff
Paladin. But Brian Kibler really loves handlock Paladin, so he will push the agenda of hand buff Paladin. Handlock Paladin.
Yeah, well,
it's got Mountain Giants and Molten Giants.
In Kibler's defense, I think hand buff Paladin is actually very underrated as well. It does have some serious game against some other decks, and
look at Team Liquid's hand though.
It's a good hand, but don't really don't underestimate how powerful Team Love You Lots can explode as well. If they get like Argent Squire down, or Righteous Protector, which is like better than Argent Squire.
And Divine Favor is a really bad pickup for Team Liquid in a lot of situations. You know,
it's a dead card in this matchup.
These decks are going to be off to the races, and unless they find Love You Lots playing a small-time recruits and sticking a bunch of cards in their hand, that's very unlikely to find value in this matchup. But the Rockpool Hunter Murloc Tidecaller opening, that is a 1-mana 3/3 that's attacking on turn 2. That is massive.
Let's go ahead and tune in and see how these opening turns are going to shape up.
If they make a 1/3 or not. Okay. They made a 1/2. They almost certainly have the thing. Right.
So do we ever like blessing of whatever instead?
No. I don't think that. We're definitely playing 2 minions, and next turn our plan is to then buff those 2 minions to get great trades. So I actually really like. So they're gonna make it 3/3, right? And we're gonna have.
Then righteous coin might isn't that bad.
Wait.
If you get points on their 3/3, because if we go righteous coin, Atris, then they're gonna buff and trade, right?
If we make a Vilefin and they play the 2/3, we can might the Vilefin, get a value trade, Atris, the Righteous Protector, and
okay. I see what you.
They'd have to bump in, but I truly believe they'll bump in when we don't buff the Righteous, right?
All right, we like Righteous Vilefin.
I like that, I think.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I see.
Act now.
0.1
Don't
drop.
play the Divine Shield. Oh, fuck, man.
The light dims, but
I think you rock pull, and I think you bump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good analysis.
They didn't play the one they kept, so they top decked the Divine Shield.
Rope it.
Rope it. Then they'll know we'll have the Crazed Alchemist in hand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you're opening that turn 2, it's like 100% Crazed Alchemist.
Anyway, it is
sick.
Alright.
So we veteran the 1/1.
Think for a second, and then we take
Veteran the 1/1 trade. Bless you, might the 1/3 trade. Excellent. And then hope they don't have like a weapon. We want them to a war leader.
And it's very likely they have a war leader.
What would Uther do?
Like their last kept card is almost certainly a minion.
Your peace.
GG, no ready.
Holy shit.
Wait, we run that card?
I think I'd rather play War Leader here. It's better against their Seer.
Yeah, I think it's War Leader, I'm just thinking.
I think it's bottom right, but yeah, War Leader. I think it's the best. We kind of just have to dump our hand and hope that they don't Divine Favor stuff.
This hand was
that card's pretty good.
Man.
Archer's
I didn't
better.
expect that. Oh, shit.
Oh, we're done. Yeah, War Leader is probably a greedy keep, right?
I mean, we didn't expect this deck, though.
Yeah. Just double 2 drop or hero power, right?
No, wait.
I think I like Seer.
Why? I think I like Seer. I think I like double 2 drop.
Well, hero power here, so we can get something on board.
Oh yeah, but yeah. We swapped the lab. Yeah.
Yeah, we can just swap the lab.
Reporting for duty.
love my
I mean, we can just steal, and then he's like not in the best spot, right?
We're pretty done.
They have to have double Divine Favor.
I mean, if we just hit one steal, it's not that bad, right?
What do we counter key with?
Dog, don't lose faith. We're just gonna hit steal and we're gonna be fine.
We should think about these things as they're coming. We can multitask, right? It's not hard.
Yeah, sure. Aggro farmer, huh? Shaman?
Wow.
The answer is Shaman, yeah, if you counter keep it. I like Vito's attitude. He says, hey, dog, don't lose faith. And I completely agree with Vito. Actually, that's what we're talking about. I think if they land a solid steed here, they're still very much competitive.
Well, that's a big draw. I mean, that helps compete for board, and that's really all Team Liquid is looking for, is anything that competes for board right now. Their big liability is the Divine Favor in hand. For Love You Lots, the big liability is they've just drawn 2 more weapons. So the second one's good. The third one is pretty bad, but still a glimpse of hope here.
Yep, and Team Liquid obviously favoring 2 health over 1 attack, 1 health with the Rock Pool Hunter, Cold Seer combination. Love You Lots can clear everything, though. And
it's going to leave them with 2 1-2s only.
Yeah, and you know, the longer... I mean... Oh, my goodness. All right, I was like, well, the longer that Love You Lots goes without developing a board, the better it looks for Team Liquid.
Yeah. They'll have a 1-1 alongside this, also along the 1-2s, excuse me. But this is not like a huge push. But again, Team Liquid is just exhausted on resources. I mean, they are living off the top of their deck and off their hero power. Hero power is obviously bad versus the 1-2s. The top of their deck somewhat weak to the weapon that's already developed. And Small Time Recruits is on deck to play 3 minions next turn. So this is likely nearing the end here. But Team Liquid still has some big draws.
I mean, you said likely nearing the end. All I see from Team Liquid is the need to pick up a 1-mana minion, and then they're back in this game.
Yeah, I think a 1-mana minion is quite a big draw in this spot.
Not for this turn, but certainly for the next.
That's a good one.
All right, let's tune in and see how Team Liquid's going to handle this turn.
Hold on, wait. You already know.
Sack, right?
Sack. Yeah, it's sacrifice.
Wait.
Not too late.
No,
it was always sack.
It's sack, yeah.
Yeah, but we play favor, right?
3 mana, draw a card. That looks
Seems
good.
good.
Seems good.
We just need to find a 1-drop, right? So yeah,
That's the 1/3. Yeah, push out the 1/3 work.
Yeah, or the Divine Shield.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
That's the most expensive card in our deck.
I think we can.
Noble Sack?
It'd be bad. It'd be kind of bad.
So, I want to test Noble Sack first, though.
Well,
If it's
the 1/1 or a
redemption,
1/2.
we're gonna go small time first, right?
yeah, just a small time first.
That gives us a good idea of what we need. Oh, we got patches. Now we're lucky.
Okay, so now we definitely can test a 1/1 to the face.
Yeah, go with 1/1 to the face. Yeah.
So we go.
We're gonna hold back 1 abusive.
Yeah.
And we're gonna kill that for Steed again.
The light protects me.
Not worried about Galaka.
Now we're gonna play our guys. But we did screw up. We could have traded the patches into the Noble Sack.
Yeah, but we thought it was more likely redemption is why we did it.
But it's just.
But we could have. Yeah.
It's just there's no downside to not attacking face with the patches and saving the other 1/1.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was redemption and the other 1/1 was going into.
But there's just no downside.
Yeah. We'd rather have a 1/1 than a pirate.
Oh, you're saying okay? If it was redemption,
If we
and
attack
then,
face,
the second 1/1 would have to go in. So the first 1/1 would.
We had to guess on redemption versus Noble Sack, and we guessed it would be redemption.
Yeah. That's more reasonable, yes.
All right. So we have
Kings. Do we have lethal?
We're 2 off.
2 off. So they always get a Steed next turn, but we have a good True Silver hit into this, right?
So I'm gonna True Silver and Patches trade.
We can leave the 1/1 alive at this point. They don't have Galaka. We can trade in the Divine Shield. There's no we're not in a good spot against cons.
I think I could play around Consecration here.
What do you think, Muzz, about killing it or not, and also?
I think we go face, play Keliseth, and hold back the +2 damage into Steed rather than a 1/1. Because face doesn't matter. If he doesn't have a taunt, then we just kill him.
Okay, yes.
Okay, you want to go face with everything? Not
No. Wait.
Patches trades, right?
I thought we were. No. Trade the Divine Shield. Trade the Divine Shield.
Yeah.
And our face.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we Keliseth all face.
Yeah.
And hold back the give us a better trade in this Steed.
Yeah. We still gonna suck, but hopefully we can draw our way out of it, which we should be able to.
Team Liquid may have found a way out if Lovely Lots can't end it next turn. Double Steed is going to be hard to come back from here. 4/7. No.
Oh my.
I think that's going to be locking them out of the game here. Unless they found Crazed Alchemist, but Team Liquid finding the second Spike Red Steed might be a blessing in disguise.
It might be at this point. I mean, Lovely Lots needed to pick up Divine Favor, needed to pick up a big buff here, a silence. They needed something on this turn. That Spike Ridge Steed is a big hurt to their game plan. You heard Muzz mention all face, and I think that pays heed to a Spellbreaker top deck in these situations. They sunk 5 damage into the 5/5. If that had gone all face, silence would have gotten them out of this. But now they're gonna have to leave a 2/6 on board. It looks like.
Well, they can kill the 2/6.
At what cost?
The cost of their entire wide board, and you also deny them I guess, an ideal target for anything else, but it's tough to deal with the second Spikered Steed.
Oh my. Even something to just fight on board. This is a very strong turn from Team Liquid.
Doesn't matter what you Spikered Steed. You want to Spikered Steed the Murloc Tidecaller?
I think I like steeding the Steed. But that leaves him vulnerable to silence.
Yeah, and you want to at least have one of them as taunt.
So then maybe it's just the 1/1. Because you want your Murloc to survive.
True.
Yeah, like the 1/1.
Yeah, and no matter what you do, you still get the best trade on board by killing the 2/2.
3 weapons are down. Wow. I think they've stabilized. Uh-oh.
All in.
They're going face. Yeah, they feel like they need to pressure too, and it's because they're out of resources. So Stickin doesn't have charge.
Let's tune in and find out what Love You Lots is talking about here.
Yeah, we just do that.
We trade 2 guys, player guy and hero power, right?
And we trade the Divine Shield.
Yep. Divine Shield as well. Yep. Board space. Uh-huh. Stuff.
Alright. Just jam Megasaur right now, and we'll see. Actually, just Divine Favor to get it out of our hands.
Yeah,
that's actually smart.
Just to go.
Okay, if we push for... Is it better to take +1/+1 here?
Push 4. We're not beating Tarim, right? We lose to Tarim no matter what. Just push 4. It's better to push 4 no matter what, right? And then we might top deck lethal. I think we're
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Better to do damage.
It's only consecrate though.
We're not.
It's also Deathwing, so I don't know. You just go.
No, consecrate might be a consideration, right?
They're not.
You do not play consecrate in the deck, man. Like.
Okay.
Oh man, I have my
I think you
essay.
have some serious issues to play consecrate in that deck.
Oh, you have the list, right? I'm asking you if there's consecrate.
Oh no, there's not. But like also it doesn't.
We're dead.
We're dead.
The battle is over.
All right, so Team Liquid is able to take the game despite the fact that as soon as turn 3, Dog was calling for a concede. And then Fino said, Dog, I think we can win this game because we have Spikered Steed. It turns out the second Spikered Steed that they drew off the 1-card Divine Favor ends up being just enough to get them over the hump.
Wow,
what a game.
That is unreal that they were able to stabilize that position. The second Steed was massive in that spot. A big one to look at, though, is the patches pulled off the small-time recruits. From what we see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 different minions that we saw that cost 1 mana that aren't patches. So if they don't get patches in that spot, the Prince Kaliseth might buff it up on the draw that they got, and maybe that 2 extra damage is able to push through for a little bit more here or there. It also pulls a card out of the deck in case they have a Silence or a Crazed Alchemist that can fight in the spot. I don't think Crazed Alchemist is being there because Prince Kaliseth is there. But their attack got squelched. They did not have the damage to push through because Team Liquid was just consistently fighting for the board.
I hear what you're saying. I disagree a little bit. I think the big pain was drawing 3 weapons, and they actually couldn't develop any board for multiple turns before. And as a result, they were forced to play small-time recruits and then drew patches. So it was like a chain of result, like where they had a lot of damage that they just couldn't really get out of their hand. And sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And now Team Liquid up 4-1. So when we come back here for Trinity Series, we're going to find out what's going to happen for game number 6. So don't go anywhere. More Trinity Series Season 2 action continues right after this.
I'm almost out of cards.
You guys seeing this?
Game, record, and stream without compromise. Only on Intel Core i7.
Welcome back, everybody, to Trinity Series Season 2, presented by Intel, as well as ESL and Twitch. Big shout out to all of our partners that help make this possible. We're currently in the middle of a series by a score of 4-1 for Team Liquid versus Team LUL. And things aren't looking good for our American heroes.
When you're down 4-1, your options are very limited, and you have to put up 4 games to your opponent's 1 in order to win the set at this stage. You know, with last hero standing, as every single deck you lose with gets knocked out and your opponent's deck stays on board, you lose counter options over and over again. It can very easily snowball. And it's first to 6 wins here takes this set. So this is going to have to pull some big weight from their decks if they want to win.
It's never truly over till it's over in a game like Hearthstone, but it becomes more unlikely as time goes on. As I do respect the team Love You Lots choice to bring the aggressive Paladin deck, the Keloseth Paladin, because it's a risk. And when you have so many decks in a format, you're allowed to take a lot of risks, and sometimes that's needed to gain the edge. Otherwise, you're just playing mirrors over and over. And what do you want to do? Play Tempo Rogue mirrors, and then play Priest mirrors, and then play, Mage, like Quest Mage versus Quest Mage? That's not going to be something that gives you the edge. Doing risky stuff like that is what helps you.
Yeah, I talk a lot about when it's the strongest players versus the strongest players. You're not going to get much of a play skill edge. Even when your opponents are making mistakes, they're often nominal mistakes that don't really amount to much. Where you find your edge is in deck building, and it is in tech choices. And again, it's really easy to criticize choices when they don't work out. But we praise them so much when they do work out. It comes a lot down to practice, how your numbers panned out, and what you anticipated. Maybe you anticipated your opponents bringing something, and they didn't bring the standard that you expected, in which case your risk sometimes likely to fail in that situation.
Side effects.
Here, though, this matchup, this is a tough one for Murloc Paladin.
Especially a Murloc Paladin that's so dependent on having like a stickier board for Cold Light Seers to land on. And the power of cards like Defile is just off the charts, especially because of how uneven a lot of those health numbers are. Factor that with the recent patch of 9.1 that Morlear no longer buffs health, so it makes other things even more within striking distance. And the Bloodworm that comes in the hand is also a very interesting choice.
Yeah, this is something that I saw from a deck Amnesiac tweeted. If you want to take a look, it's somewhere buried in his. But let's listen to the teams and see what they're thinking as we roll into these early stages.
No, let's not.
So many possibilities.
Just jam that one drop. You got this.
We should shield anyway. We shouldn't just play fast.
I'm gonna get a drink. You guys rope.
All right.
Start touching cards, Joe.
Let me.
Is that the play?
Yes. Touch them.
Why do we play golden cards, by the way?
Because you're a role player.
No. You made this deck. You're the role player.
Yeah, it's because like when we copy like the codes, they just come out golden. Like it's all my fault.
Oh, okay.
When you copy codes, they just come out golden, and I can't be arsed changing cards.
Let's move quickly.
Right, good.
A lot of Murloc-y cards. Yeah, play. a card, and it's really likely they have a playable. We're gonna Corpse Taker next turn, right?
Yeah. So the question is, if we just don't tap.
No, we tap. We tap.
Okay.
We have double Defile. We can always clear. Yeah, we need to hit Gul'dan, right?
Okay.
Tapping gives him Divine Favor cards, but whatever.
Right.
They have to pay 3 mana for that first. We get the card right away.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we do have plays lined up for a while, but I think just having a card later is good. And this is, we don't have to pay for this one because of the lifesteal. Unless we top deck second Bloodworm.
I'm gonna go get a drink. You talk about team dynamics for a little bit.
Stun Double Dan in here to take over. Yeah, talking about this deck, it is really interesting looking. I mean, Bloodworm is not a very strong card in its own right. Its job is quite literally to enable Corpse Taker to be a powerful 4-cost minion. I tried this deck out for a while. I think one of my big problems was that I had Psychotron at the 5-drop competing with Bloodworm, and instead of having Sunwalker performs better against Priest, and at the same time also fills up your curve moving through 5 and 6, and rather than float that mana on turn 6, oftentimes by doing back-to-back 5s, you have the Sunwalker sometimes to go with it. But it is a very unique build, where I think it fights against aggressive decks a lot better. I'm not sure about its game versus other decks that are out there, but it looks like Sunwalker's not part of this build. They've cut it, and they were relying on Tainted Zealots for their Divine Shields. And the second one drawn, it's a good thing and a bad thing. They still have Defile with it, but they don't get the buff.
Yeah, they have 2 Defile, 2 Tainted Zealots, and that gives Team Liquid some information as well. They're saying, whoa. They didn't land a Corpse Taker or Divine Shield? Isn't that like half the reason you play that card?
It absolutely is. And, in this spot, I'm curious if Team Liquid, seeing a strange card like Corpse Taker, if they're not familiar with this list, maybe puts them on some sort of strange Kazakus build.
You gotta get off these Kazakus build theories.
It was the very first one we saw.
It wasn't.
The first Warlock we saw was absolutely a Kazakus deck.
We didn't see any cards that indicated it was a Kazakus deck.
We saw Doomguard.
Move quickly.
That's the cruel deck that Tom played at playoffs.
All right, let's go ahead and listen in and see what the team's thinking about. See what they think about Cruel Warlock.
No, we haven't. Good stuff, good stuff. We're gonna tempo a Tainted Zealot.
Yeah. And
Shadow Bolt.
7.
Wait, what? What'd you say, Zoe?
The War Leader's got 7 attack. That's the one we Shadow Bolt.
So many possibilities.
The other ones have 4 health as a consideration, but I don't really care.
No.
Our Zealot's always going to be able to punch in and start clearing.
Yep.
Not sure about the always.
How are they going to deal with the Xenolot?
I guess we can talk about it some more. Like what?
You plays that a lot.
4/4, 3/4, 7 versus 8. He'll have more power, but if he plays a Murloc, he has the same power.
We know he has a Murloc because
we know he has a Murloc. Which one do we want to Shadow Bolt?
Left. War Leader.
War Leader.
Okay.
They still have 2 cards that they kept, so I think they definitely have Defile.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Let me think.
So does Cold Light Seer play around it?
No. Cold Light Seer plays into it, right?
Plays around it. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It plays into it.
No, wait. He hits it.
Hold on. Oh, he doesn't have to hit that. He hits a 6 health unit. And it'll do 3, 4. It won't clear.
No, he doesn't hit a 6 health. He has to hit the Seer.
No, he doesn't. Bump off the Divine Shield. The first one will be 2, and the second one will be 1, and the third one will be 4.
Quickly.
Okay, what was the play?
Yeah, you're right.
Seer?
Face. I think I can't think of anything else as quickly. So it's Seer face probably.
It wasn't Seer.
We don't trade, right? Just go face.
Yeah, just go face. Don't hero power, I think.
Yeah, don't hero power. It doesn't matter. Just go face.
I think
I wouldn't hero power.
Here. We don't really love doing that. We don't really have a great other option. We hit into a 6 health guy. Defile, it's going to deal 4 total, so it'll leave a 1 health and a 2 health. That doesn't work.
So many possibilities.
So it's either use both Zealots or both Defiles.
What if we use both Defiles and then play a Zealot out?
But then what does that Zealot do?
It plays around favor a bit. We have Bloodworm, Despicable Dreadlord.
But isn't a Defile just kind of good?
I think so, especially with Dreadlord in hand.
3, 5. I think a Defile is better than a Zealot, even though it plays around favor.
Okay.
They also...
We can hit him for 1 in the face.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So they don't have a speed. We know they have a buff Murloc though, so kind of sucks for us. It was the best one.
The light dims, but we fight.
Defile barely doesn't clear with the Dreadlord.
Thinking we Dreadlord and end up play Defiler. So.
You said Defiler Coil?
Yeah.
So many
Yeah.
How are they going to 5 offensively versus Dreadlord?
I don't really want to. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't really want to play. I definitely don't want to Defile, and I don't want to Coil because that 1/1 actually helps us for the Defile, right? So the way they 5 us, there's not a great way. It'd have to be 2 cards. Next turn, we want to Defile, Coil somehow to set up a clear and land a Corpse Taker or a Bloodworm, depending on what we feel.
And what do you want to play this turn?
What if we Corpse Takered? I kind of like that now that I think about that.
Sets up a potentially.
So yeah, we just Corpse Taker, right?
Yeah.
It's safer, yeah, because I think their far left is burst. It's been there for a while.
So this just sets up an insane like Dreadlord Defile Coil.
Somehow it should work.
It should, yeah. There shouldn't be a great way to play around this. I mean, Steed, but then they're not developing, but it's still obviously good for them. But yeah, this is the best.
I wonder if Team Liquid has a possibility for lethal here, depending on what comes out of the Finja, and they have Gentle Megasaur. If they pull out 2, well, they can pull out 1 Charger with the Bluegill. If they pull out War
they have
Leader,
the other Bluegill though in hand.
Yeah, so I'm saying if they pull out War Leader and Bluegill,
Wind Fury.
So that's 8, 9. Yeah, that's more than enough.
Love you lots will be at 12.
They can also get plus. They can also get +3 attack, and they also can get plus. Can they get +1/+1? No, they cannot.
So
will be just off.
If they got random Murloc, Bluegill Warrior, Megasaur hit +3 attack, they'd actually be 1 damage off lethal.
Well, if you're getting the plus health on the Corpse Taker.
Yeah, which no, there'd be 1 damage off lethal because of that. So the Finja attacks in, they puts him at 12. There's a lot of weird little math going on here, and frankly, I just think Steed is better. That's what it boils down to. And I actually like not activating the Finja here because this plays around the Defile. I think this is a really intelligent play from Team Liquid. Because now they have the potential to just play the Bluegill Warrior and the Gentle Megasaur and just burst here.
Well, I mean, the Blood River Gul'dan comes in the hand, and that's what they were talking about. Let's once again tune in and listen to the team dynamics of Lovey Lots. Are they going to pick up the pace here?
I mean, we could siphon a 3/7, but it doesn't seem to be very smart.
It leaves us, yeah.
We just have more damage.
We go to 4, they have more damage.
No. Just no.
We're siphoning the Finja.
Yeah, no reason to tap at all.
So many possibilities.
Yeah. Okay, I'll think about it for a while and then I'll do it.
Alright.
We're at 0 demons? Or
0 demons.
0 demons. Yep.
We go for it, right? No, we can never get lethal, but we go for Bluegill and
We still play
Megasaur.
Bluegill Megasaur, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But the question is if we should do a pleb or not. I think
just play
it's
Bluegill Megasaur first.
Yeah.
I mean, depends if we get health. Yeah.
Plebs are bad. It's bad against the fight only to take plebs.
Yeah, so
So they defy and then they hellfire, but that's fine, right? That doesn't clear anything.
They'll die if they hellfire.
Yeah,
Other ones
so
will do.
I think we take plebs, right?
Plebs are good. Yeah, take plebs for your power.
yeah, play shield power. We have like weapons, we have divine favors. We have
I mean, taunt back.
Well, they hit a taunt.
Yeah, we have 2 Void Walkers and Tar Creepers.
So we defile
Oh, yeah,
coil.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's no reason not to coil.
Yeah.
If only Bloodworm gives you for every time it's damage.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you coil.
What are you saying? Bloodworm is the best, right?
Yep.
There's Doomsayer as well. We've got Gul'dan coming in, so if we Doomsayer, deny all their development. They have Crazy Man they could draw, but Crazy Man would kill us. Crazy Man kills us.
They have 2 Crazy Men. I think Bloodworm's
that
better.
kills us.
I don't care about Crazy.
I like Doomsayer. I like Doomsayer, I think.
Yeah.
So what?
I like Doomsayer, yes.
This also gives us the out of them missing the Crazy Man lethal.
Nope, not missing that one.
Beautiful job by Team.
All right, Warrior.
Rip it off the top.
Brilliant play from Team Liquid, forced that little bit of extra damage. And while I like the setup from LUL at the end, that top deck's Rallying Blade ends the game. Lots of damage that did it, though.
Yeah, and once again, starting to put into question how powerful can the Murlocs and Paladin be, and how important it was that even despite the Murloc War Leader nerf, they're still very much on the map. You know, day number 1 showed us the power of Murloc Paladin. And I think this last potential game, or this last series in general, might be one of the few times you're going to see this little amount of hungry crabs if people are going to keep competitive series in the Trinity series against Paladin.
Yeah, something to note is that Team Liquid did miss the second Tainted Zealot possibility in hand.
Yeah, that was huge.
They didn't see the Divine Shield on the Corpse Taker, which means one of 2 things is happening. Number 1, your opponent only has 1 copy of Tainted Zealot, or number 2, it is in their hand. Those are the only 2 possibilities. And so I didn't hear them discuss the second Tainted Zealot at all, and that cleared their board. Now, that being said, Team LUL's hand was fairly clunky, but they did have 2 Defiles. And they never found like a strong spot to actually take that initiative. That's a big point of that deck, is actually taking the initiative. The second Tainted Zealot draw was a big punish, but that's the risk you run when you play Corpse Taker.
Yeah, and the important thing was not holding back with the Finja attack. To be able to set up for that pressure point where they forced their opponent to have Siphon Soul and led them down that path. And Team Liquid set themselves up to potentially get lucky for lethal with the dabs. Didn't hit it, but it didn't really matter because they still got the Rallying Blade anyways.
Yeah.
And that's what you really need to do. Just always set yourself up for success, because eventually, assuming you have enough chances, you'll hit.
Yeah, when you're not the one with inevitability.
Right. So, and you just see the difference between that 1 health. If they're able to get Blood Reaver Gul'dan online, stabilize, be able to get the Life Bite online, it would have been completely different outcome of the game. And as a result, Team Liquid is on verge of closing out the most one-sided series that we'll see all week by a score of 6-1. And also, just kind of talking a little bit about just how the team dynamics are playing into the conversations. Team LUL's not really making jokes anymore. If they do, it just seems a little bit upset. You can just tell that they're not as jovial as they once were, and I don't blame them. Things are going really against them right now.
Honestly, their draws have been fairly poor, all things considered. They have a lot of key cards, but they're drawing a lot of the counter synergy that's involved with that as well. You know, you take a look at the Shaman game, for instance, where the Tol'vir Stoneshaper showed up way late into the game. They never had a strong opportunity to play it. You take a look at that one, drawing both Tainted Zealots. If one of the Tainted Zealots is in the deck and both their Corpse Takers get Divine Shield, I think they run away with that game. with the extra attacks they're occupying, the extra life that they get. But again, I have to give credit to Team Liquid on the brilliant play of not activating Finja and accounting for the second Defile. I think that's what truly won them that game.
Yeah, hard to say what's going to happen. The last deck remaining is Warrior. Is it a Fatigue Warrior? I mean, or is it the Pirate Warrior? Or is it something that we're not expecting, which could be, let's say, N'Zoth Warrior, which I think also is another deck that people don't think about, but Warrior can play it and has significant game in it. Fibonacci brought it to the Hearthstone Championship Tour playoffs for summer season and was the only deck he was winning with. He was losing with everything else, but he was getting wins with N'Zoth Warrior. So I'm curious to see what's on deck here for Team LUL, and can they bring it back?
So far, we've only seen Fatigue Warrior from Warrior side, so we'll take a glimpse. And as expected, I think from what we've seen thus far, it is aggro, 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 and control, control, control. Team LUL, their decks are very polarized in their matchups. We saw no combo this week.
At least from them. There's definitely some combo decks we've seen all throughout.
Yeah, from them, of course.
Yeah.
Dark Reaper again!
Do you want to make a bet if they're doing a Cobalt Scalebait?
No, I don't. What, do I get to take the Cobalt Scalebait side?
Whatever side you want. What do you think? You think they are?
No, I don't.
I think they are.
I don't think they are.
I think they totally are. And
it doesn't make as much sense in Pirate Warrior.
It doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and tune in and see what's behind Love You Lots' team communications.
Door
here.
number 6.
We're gonna need this stuff to kill his next thing. We didn't really want a Tar Creeper anyway.
We need value out of this hand, and the coiny upgrade is value.
Fly, party.
Step 1, didn't draw patches. Step 2 is to rip this Keleseth straight from the heavens.
I'm smiling just thinking about it, Chalky.
Still hydrologist, right?
Yeah.
So we can go Rock, Pull Hunter, Tide Collar.
Yeah, exactly. But we could go Sham as well. But it's mana inefficient. But it sets up a bigger turn next turn.
I wonder.
Don't we
I
want
don't
to
really like.
Yeah, we want to buff and Murloc next turn, right?
Yeah, for sure. But we will have even more power if the Sham hits Tide Collar or Hunter now.
We might not have a 1-drop if we play the Chum, so.
I wonder.
We have Tide Collar for next turn. Tide Collar, Hunter next turn.
Wait, you just want to play Cham now, nothing else?
Chum?
Like, if we just play Sham, if they hit it with the weapon, it's the same outcome as Hydrologist.
Yeah, but Hydrologist we get the secret up.
Yeah.
I mean, this is more money efficient. But, yeah. Suck.
Yeah, suck.
Yeah, suck this one.
So we're gonna
Play my guy and kill his guy.
And yeah, -4. 25 life.
Alright, 25 more, 25 more.
Any 3-drop they have, right?
Yeah.
Or Hunter, I guess. Just go. Right?
Yeah. The 1-mana guy is very good if we get him, like the Ratchet Protector.
Very
His
careful.
guys. I'm gonna take 1 less damage.
We kill everything?
Then it's dead. Yeah, Megasaur.
Yeah, Megasaur, I guess.
We care which 1/1 we keep around.
You should trade the patches, theory.
Patches.
Alright, 24 more. We got 1 in that turn.
Excellent stuff. And we killed 2 of his cards.
At this rate, only 24 more turns.
Helen. There's so many.
My lock, hero power, secret. Okay.
All right, well, Love You Lots has a very powerful curve. And, well, it wasn't straight from the heavens. He came a little bit late.
Yeah.
But Prince Keleseth makes an appearance, and I think we can start to see what this Pirate Warrior did in reaction to the patch.
Yeah, I'm kind of interesting that they chose to go with Keliseth, given that Heroic Strike was such a powerful card. But look at what they've done to the deck. The Tar Creeper being added in here means that they are relying on their board pressure to really get this job done. I would anticipate 2 copies of Bittertide Hydra and
Cobalt Scalebane.
You mentioned Cobalt Scalebane. It makes a lot more sense if they're losing that Heroic Strike damage. They want to be on board and delivering that way.
Man, it's so tempting to follow the curve. Play Tar Creeper, play Prince Keliseth, and Tar Creeper next turn.
Well, it makes a lot of sense for them to not use the weapon here, I think, a lot of times, to simply account for the amount of future damage that they'll have to deal from Team Liquid's threats. You know, they know that Buff Murloc's in hand. If that's a 4/4, you're going to want weapon damage around, but at the same time, you're going to want a minion around if that's the case. So I like the Tar Creeper here to shut off the counterattacks and use this Bloodsail Corsair to chip away. Bloodsail Cultist, excuse me, not Corsair.
Team Liquid mentioned that they really want that Righteous Protector, but it's a little awkward right now.
Yeah, Tar Creeper makes that a lot tougher.
Yeah, and also Team Liquid's met with like this perfect wall of the Tar Creeper because Blue Gill Warrior and Murloc Warrior don't get past it.
Let me think.
Tar Creeper honestly is lined up really well in a lot of matchups. I think that Lovey Lots just has not had the follow-up draws, honestly.
If there's anything that I've learned from Spreading Plague is that any small taunt that has 5 health is annoying as heck. Let's listen in to Team Liquid.
Yes, we do. Is there like any way we go like Righteous Protector War Leader or?
So what happens then? They trade Tar Creeper and Cultist and Deckhand and the weapon.
Yeah, that's bad.
So do we just Blue Gill and or War Leader and Blue Gill or Hero Power?
I don't know.
Do whatever.
Bottom right this. Oh no, anything but that. Alright. Play our minions.
Play our minions, punch the War Leader, value trade with the Tar Creeper, value trade with the 3/3. Player 2.
Wait. How do we value? Oh, you want to value trade the War Leader? Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. I see. So 1/5 into 4/4. Yeah.
What now?
I think they've got that one consecration.
The argument against it is like no, they don't have Finch.
No,
just do it.
We need maximum stuff. They're gonna start Steed a few turns.
Truth is found in death.
That's so bad.
Bottom right, buddy.
Just
Hero Power War Leader. And next time Protector Tarim. Or Protector Steed.
Reporting for duty.
Okay, so we need them to like just Hero Power now, right?
I just want to point out, Lovey Lots' deck has used every point of mana, has used every single card, and has gotten the maximum value out of everything possible this game. This is night and day from what we saw earlier.
And you can also see just the pace that Lovey Lots has picked up too. They were taking a minute to go over all their turns, but I think a combination of the Pirate Warrior having a hand that kind of plays itself, and also with the what's been happening this series, has encouraged them to play faster at this point. So it's an interesting change of pace here heading into Game 7. But this one looks all but the Warriors, as I believe they should be able to close out this game unless Team Liquid can find some way to pull themselves out here.
Well, the Tarim is quite disruptive here. 3/3 Divine Shield eats 2 of these guys. It'll eat a charge of the Arcanite Reaper. Tarim eats a 3rd guy. Like, that's a lot of stuff. I'm curious if they delay these attacks.
They still set up 2-turn lethal. So I think it's fine.
I mean, that last... I'm just flashing back to the horrors of the Hero Power Steed recovering the game.
Well, yeah, but they don't even have Steed in the hand, so... And I think at this point, if you're Pirate Warrior, you don't really play with Spikered Steed existing in the game of Hearthstone.
Agreed.
And you know that they don't have Tyrion, right? So At this point, you might as well go for gold. Let's go ahead and see what the teams are going to talk about for this final couple turns here.
Okay, what are we playing?
Do you think Hunter is better than any other deck?
I think Hunter is best.
I mean, Hunter just has Golaka, right? So
It's the best deck out of all of them, I would say.
yeah.
It's Hunter and then Warlock.
Yeah, alright.
Again. That was a turn 7.
We did it! We won the game!
And a little expression of relief. I guess slight disappointment. Yeah, it's a moral victory. But keep in mind that game score does really matter when it comes to tiebreakers. And last season, what we ended up seeing was tiebreakers made all the difference between seeds 3 through 6.
Yeah.
3 through 7, excuse me.
Yep.
Some teams had the same record where they were like 4-3 or 3-4. And a large reason why they were able to get to the finals was those tiebreakers. So it's in the best interest for teams to really try their best in this position. And you can already hear Team Liquid. Instead of, a lot of times in tournaments that game score doesn't matter of how you advance as long as you win, they would probably play some of the other weaker decks in this position. They're like, well, we'll see if we can get a win with some of our weaker decks, blah, blah. But Team Liquid immediately recognizes we need to win as decisively as possible for our game differential. What's our best counter? And they immediately went to Hunter, which makes sense because Hunter kills Pirate Warrior very effectively these days. A very big reversal of the past.
Yes, the double Glocka Crawler is really the big one there. Being able to hit a Pirate early on, especially with Fiery War Axe taking the toll and going to 3 mana, it's a much harder card to deal with from the Pirate Warrior's perspective. So 4 games still to go in this matchup. If Team LUL is going to win, they got to face down Hunter, Mage, Shaman, and Warlock to take this set.
Well, they can definitely beat the Mage. Shaman and Hunter are going to be very hard, and Warlock can be good against Pirate Warrior depending on how it's built, especially if they have Galactic Crawlers.
Galaka's even it up a little bit more, but the traditional style of Warlocks that just try to clear the board are fairly abysmal versus Pirate Warrior. There's just so much damage pours in that they tend to just ignore your board and hit you a lot, and you don't have the same heal that you had before. Before you relied on Reno Jackson to have that ultra-powerful reset you to full. Now you're like Earth and Ring Farseer.
That was before the patch, though, and I haven't seen as many games as I've played of Warlock. It hasn't been that many, but I haven't run into any Pirate Warriors, considering how rare they are relative to before the patch. Before the patch, completely agree. I think it's very hard for Warlock to stabilize against Pirate Warrior. But now that they've got Fire War Axe put to 3, and as a result, a lot of Pirate Warriors cut Fire War Axe, or even if they put them in, it's just not really as explosive because they can't coin Fire War Axe into a bunch of plays.
To me, the big hit is the loss of Bloodsail Raider. Not being able to have the 2-mana 3/3 or the coin Fiery War Axe into Bloodsail Raider is a big hit with the amount of damage that you can actually output to a Warlock. You're relying more on threats sticking to the board. Landing Prince Keleseth to keep your guys out of defile range, things like that. So there is a lot more volatility to the match, I'd say, but Arcanite Reaper is still one of the big cards to look at.
All right, let's go into the next game here. Game 8, Lovey Lots begins the comeback train. We see Serenite Chain Gang.
Now, they can't be using Stolen Goods in combination with this because that's a 2-cost card that would compete with Prince Keleseth. And that was the deck that Chauncey
we've confirmed that Prince Keleseth is active.
Yes.
Because, sometimes people are crazy and for some reason gimp their win condition deck building cards.
Yeah, weird choice.
With stuff. So, no, sometimes it's a not too aggressive decks. Maybe he wants to win against faster decks like Hunter, for example. Let's go ahead and start listening in and see what the teams are talking about.
Yeah. Anything we mull is just looking for like one fringe out of making our hand slightly better. Like Keleseth or Second Cultist or something. I'm not even sure. Right.
4 keep seems reasonable. Let's just rope it out like it's a mistake.
Like they roped out all their 4s keeps. Yeah.
Sometimes they only 3 kept
one. They kept one. And they played it on one. Or they're looking.
Play this first mate and kill both cats. Nope. Play
Firefly. So this is. They just have strictly low odds to have Galaka.
So we're gonna first mate, punch the Firefly, go face with patches.
That's what I want to do. Just trying to think.
Oh, that's the only thing to do.
Yeah, it seems like the thing. They're gonna Flame Elemental. Nope, that sucks.
They can like Grandma, they can Galaka.
Gonna want to be a Galaka crawler, really.
Well, they might hold it for... Because
we're not coining anything because we want to coin Cultist. We're just doing what Muzzy said. It's right.
Fly, Polly.
Not noobs who clear the board. Pros.
Yeah.
One chip damage.
Pros. 1 chip damage.
Okay.
That's the defining metric.
That's our edge.
I mean, I've seen pros who don't do that.
That's right.
Pros, quotation.
What if we get Potion of Madness tier?
Shit, that's a good hunter card.
Yeah. Alright, they played that pretty quick, but...
Play this Cultist pretty quick.
Yeah.
Let's think about this.
Yeah, we should definitely think. I mean, I like it. Like,
So we could 2 Fireflies and clear...
No.
It's always good. You Cultist.
You always Cultist.
Yes.
If they Galaka, we have a good
Cultist, yes. We have a perfect curve.
Good shit, everybody.
Think about it for as long as you want.
I don't want to think at all. I want to just do it.
Excellent.
Right. Then, games are like game.
Companion, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Buffer. Oh,
It's always him.
Unlucky. You hate to see that.
Yeah, you really do.
Wow, the team dynamics have really changed for Lovey Lots.
Yeah, their spirits are picked up. It feels like they're once again kind of joking and apparently trash talking. I don't know.
Big shots fired.
I didn't expect that, for coming out, but I like it, and they're completely right. There's still some common things that people do and they take for granted, like getting a single damage point in.
Pros quotation marks.
Yeah, as long as they don't put casters in those quotation marks either.
We're lethal missing specialists, though, so I don't really think that you can really pin that against us. Like, that's something we embrace. We got stories to tell. We got team dynamics to talk about, okay? We don't have time to count to 7.
In all seriousness, the team dynamics for Lovey Lots is picked up. I mean, they're making jokes. They're casually bantering, throwing an accidental swear word in there. You name it. Team Liquid, in the meantime, is falling further and further behind.
Wait,
and
they're pros. They don't clear the board.
That's right. They don't clear the board.
Yeah, this one's kind of free.
Team Liquid has no good Houndmaster target, and everything that they're setting up for is falling apart, and this is where usually Hunter crumbles. Let's listen to Liquid and see if they can piece this back together.
I mean, isn't it just Deadly Shot, though? Because next time we got to score like Hyena kill command, right?
Yeah. Sure, we'll go with Deadly.
Let's see. Is there anything else? No, right?
I mean, do we win if they have Hydra? I don't know.
Maybe it's like...
It removes the pirate, so it removes all pirate synergies.
What about
next turn? I mean...
Bear Shock? It's never Bear Shock, right?
They just trade them. They get value trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get the value, but we're gonna draw like... I don't know.
You can draw Unleash, yeah. If you wanna top... Do you feel it?
No, I think I just want a Deadly Shot. I'm just thinking about it. Right, Deadly Shot, right?
Yeah.
Just to take less damage this way, I guess.
I think that was better outcome if we're going Hyena kill command.
Nah, because... I mean, you'd rather do something else, right? Than Hyena.
Chain Gang, question is, do we use the weapon?
The Serenite makes them a little less
No.
enthusiastic.
They could run Corsair. We don't.
We don't
use the weapon.
Yeah, you
Good
never
talk.
swing
Yeah.
here.
We just Chain Gang, push 1, and we're done.
Yeah, play the kept one. Play the kept one.
Yep.
Yeah. Put it on the left, because that's wrong.
Oh.
Maybe it triggers somebody's OCD.
I like the left.
You like the left?
Yeah.
Good.
Alright, let's not bring politics into this, Muzz.
Alright.
Top deck Alley Cat and the Houndmaster. That's fine. That means no Galaka still.
I like killing cute ones. Oh, there's no Galaka on board.
I like green.
Sorry, guys. That's what I'm
trading the 1/1 probably with our 2/3 and going face.
Why with a 2? Yeah.
Because the Houndmaster kills the Tar Creeper then.
Yeah, but he's probably going to value trade into a 2/3 anyways. But then we can value trade with a 1/5 after that. So
Is there a deckhand Chain Gang turn that makes sense?
Can she? No.
No.
No. Because we need the weapon buff.
All right, so I'm gonna green skin. We're gonna ignore the Houndmaster.
And value trade with a 2/3.
Yeah.
The left 2/3 to play around explosive shot. Actually, he'd explosive shot the green skin though, right?
Stop.
So green skin should have been far right.
I mean, Grievous Bite is a Grievous Bite is a much more viable card.
This was a far right green skin play. You messed.
Sorry, Muzzy. Disappointed you.
What a
Kill command's not active.
Mm-hmm.
Bear Shark, kill command. That's the play. Trade into the 2/3.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need Unleash.
To Northrend! God, that's still my favorite card. I love Argent Commander.
Argent Commander is your favorite card.
A little story to tell here. When I played at DreamHack a couple years ago, I ended up busting out of the event at like 3-3 or something. And I played the side event where it was really stacked. I ended up playing against 6-0 in round 3, and the deck that really dropped the ball for me was a Grim Patron after the first rotation that took place. So during Whispers of the Old Sky meta. And I was like, man, Grim Patron sucks. And I just took it out of my deck and I put in 2 Arcanite Reapers and 2 Argent Commanders and just started hitting face a lot. I left the rest of the deck alone. I was like, man, this is good. And 6-0 was somewhat upset, but somewhat happy at the same time because I was just going face a lot. And that card's just always been one of my faves because of his enthusiasm. It's a one-way ticket to Northrend.
I think that story is a blue-faced lie, and that's because you said 6-0 was happy.
You can... He gave me a smile when I Argent Commandered him.
Yeah. All right.
Because literally the game was just Arcanite Reaper face, Argent Commander face. And I was like, wow, this is great.
There's a lot of good face plans here for Lovey Lots. He's got Argent Commander, apparently Admirable's favorite card in 2017. And Southsea Deckhand Bloodsail Cultist also lines up very well to put a lot of damage out because you get 2 weapon swings, which makes up for the Argent Commander next turn. The
Chain Gangs have really pulled some serious weight in this particular matchup. I don't think that Team Liquid was at all expecting that.
I wasn't expecting that.
Same. And just the amount of damage they're able to pull off the back of this by just protecting the rest of their minions and occupying 2 attacks.
I have seen Argent Commander in Pirate Warriors recently. I just haven't really seen Chain Gangs outside of this one guy that played it for the playoffs in HCT, which was Chonsu from Korea. So this is looking bad for Team Liquid, and this might be yet another Team LUL victory. Can Team Liquid stop them?
Deathstalker or Rex? Oh no, maybe don't have them.
Oh,
we hit it.
Doesn't do anything though, right?
First, and then you trade 1 in, and then we play Hyena. So do that, yes.
Yeah.
Unleash first.
This happens, right? 6-5
Yeah, that almost happens, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, are we just there on board? Where are we playing?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we're dead. Good team.
Woo! Alright. 3 more. You've drawn Kelsa twice, technically. Keep it up.
Yeah, great card.
I like the nod to their Prince Keleseth, which comes in the mid-stage of the game and is largely just a 2-mana 2/2, which gives a slight buff, so congrats. It's like Fallen Sun Cleric.
The rest of their deck is what's been doing well. And, taking a look at those last 2 games, they did have Nizal's First Mate plus Coin Bloodsail Cultist 2 games in a row. That was really one of the driving forces of Pirate Warrior before as well. Just the 2/4 weapon fights so hard for board that the Cultist continuously gets value throughout the game.
Well, the first game was when they floated a mana and they played Southsea Deckhand. They actually coined out the upgrade. But it's the point that the weapon got buffed somehow. And it was able to control more life power from the board. And that is 2 games in a row with the coin, and they can't expect it for 3 more games unless they're barring enormously fortunate circumstances. But at the same time, against certain decks, Pirate Warrior wants to go first so they can put the pressure on. And if they can get Keleseth on the curve, on the play.
This does start to get a little bit scary here for Team Liquid as well. The Mage deck, I think, is very susceptible to almost all forms of Pirate Warrior in this instance. The Warlock deck can really struggle if it doesn't have the proper early game. And Shaman is still fairly favored, I think, for Team Liquid. The slowdown of Pirate Warrior, it really requires the N'Zoth's First Mate plus the weapon upgrade to fight for board significantly. So I think if they're over that hump, that's when their spirits are going to look bright. But outside of that, Team Liquid still, with their, a little bit nervous after the 2 wins in a row maybe here.
Yeah, they shouldn't be sweating too much. I mean, Hunter was one of their better matches, but they didn't draw any of the Galactic Crawlers. Now they can turn to Shaman, and if they have an anti-aggro Warlock, that's also good too. And, one thing to consider as well is that I've seen this story played out in Hearthstone many times, where one person is down against the odds, they're making the reverse comeback, they win the unfavorables back to back to back, and then they have finally the favorable matchup that they've been waiting for, and they just lose. It's so crazy. So I'm expecting Team LUL to win the next game, or maybe even 2, but against Mage, against a class that Pirate Warrior is supposed to be excellent again, 8-2 favorites, they're somehow going to whiff.
It's like the one of
Mage
Mana
just
Word.
crushes them somehow.
Arcanologist, Ice
Doomsayers,
Barriers, Frost Nova Doomsayer, the double Ice Block, the Jaina off the top.
You don't even need the quest to even beat them if they're playing Quest Mage. You can often just play straight up Control Mage and then win through an Antonitis sticking on the board.
In that matchup, I think you actually just mulligan quest. Like, when are you ever going to have time to quest against a Pirate Warrior? You need the extra card to try to find that Volcanic Potion from Primordial Glyph, or to find loot hoarders to try to fight for board. It's anything to scrap.
Yeah. We'll see. Zlay has been doing a good job piling, but I got to give a nod. I just feel like all of them are kind of in agreement and kind of keeping it smooth. And right now, the momentum is slowly but surely shifting. And
I think it feels about even right now.
And we'll see what Team Liquid has in store. I mean, we also might be writing things a little bit too early, too. What if it's like a Warlock that we're not expecting?
Demon Warlock.
Could be the Demon Warlock coming out.
Could be the double Galactic Crawler. Purple just won Americas with a double Galactic Crawler Warlock build where he seemingly preyed on Pirates the entire tournament.
That's right. Let's jump into game. Pirate Warrior looks like they're on the play, and guess what? On the play, turn 2, Prince Keleseth.
Galactic Crawler on the other side, but no Pirates in the hand for Love You Lots. And
yeah, but they're going to mulligan for it.
I imagine they're going to mulligan for it, but turn 2 Keleseth into Frothing Berserker is a strong play versus Warlock. Defile is a card you really have to consider, and if their game plan is going to get wrecked by Defile, if the Frothing Berserker can live through a board, that could shut down the Defile potential sometimes. I think Frothing Berserker is one of the premier threats versus Warlock. And I absolutely think they should be keeping this card.
What about on the Warlock side? Defile, Spellbreaker, Galactic Crawler, even Twilight Drake has merit because you want to fight back on board. You don't want to just keep clearing all the time.
Yeah, and Frothing Berserker I think is a big reason they keep Twilight Drake. If they see that card on 3, it probably changes their mind and they go into coin Twilight Drake, just hoping that card will trade straight up for Frothing Berserker.
Yeah, Spellbreaker makes almost no sense these days. It feels like everything that's worth silencing. Oh.
That is a bad draw on that one replacement. They do pick up a second Frothing Berserker, though.
So
I don't think he played this patches.
If you were given an option for this hand and you would get something completely different, would you keep all of it? Let's assume the rules were you either keep your entire hand or you throw it away.
And I know I'm playing against Warlock. Yeah, I'd keep this hand for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Prince Kelsa is still really powerful.
To me, it's honestly the Frothing Berserkers. I cannot stress how powerful of a card that is in this matchup. Like, Twilight Drake is the card that can test this, and a lot of opponents just won't even keep that. They'll fish for early answers. So when they see multiple keeps, maybe they anticipate it.
I don't anticipate the patches being played on turn 1.
Absolutely not.
And so let's go ahead and tune in Liquid, as they're the ones who are going to have to survive this onslaught of Pirates.
Yeah, so they probably kept Prince into Tar Creeper.
Yeah.
I would just pass Tar Creeper in this matchup, though?
No, but they kept it against Rogue, so anything can happen.
I think it's Zoo.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think they keep it.
I think they keep Captain, right, as the free drop.
They kept Frothing.
Frothing, yeah, that might be right.
Alright, just tap, right?
Yeah, just tap.
Tap. We're getting frothy. Getting in for 2.
We're not playing that guy.
Frothy.
The blade is very thirsty.
Show me Earthen Ring Farseer.
Coin Drake?
We can technically full clear if you want to go with Blood Mage, Coin, Defile.
Is that good though?
That gets better, right? Drake doesn't get better.
That gets better. But they will play.
It actually doesn't full clear. What am I talking about? It doesn't
it's a full clear.
Just go Coin Drake.
Yeah.
It's not.
But there's also the option to go Stonehill and set up the.
Too risky.
No, I think that's. Yeah, I think I like Coin Drake more. Like, how do they deal with Coin Drake? Like, they don't play heroic strikes.
So many possibilities.
Like, Drake is just good here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we don't always have to define next time. Yeah.
Actually, we lose to top deck Serenite from a buffed Prince, but.
Buffing our frothing.
Well, we could go Chain Gang and just protect them. Yeah, that's the first thing I saw. The other thing is frothing trade, patches trade.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And then that buffs our guy to 6. His guy is at 5 health, and we have 2 6/4s. We hit him to 20. The other play, we buffs him to 4, and we double Chain Gang. His guy's at 6. He can Hellfire and trade. Do we have good follow-up then?
Frothing patches.
Well,
it'd be Core
we'd probably Core Cron. Just Core. We wouldn't patches. But.
So if we do the double frothing play, what's that bad against?
Spellbreaker and basically just that because they don't run.
Only Shadowbreaker, right?
They don't run Shadow. Yeah, let's do the frothing play. So
yeah.
Frothing.
So you want a frothing patches? Trade the guys.
Yeah. Trade both those guys.
Yeah.
And then go face.
Playground Blood Mage Defile as well. 3.
It also just gets us the most damage.
Gets real.
He gets really screwed here if he doesn't have an answer, and he has.
He has to play Stonehill here, right? That's the only play.
Yeah, Stonehill. Maybe get like a 1-mana taunt even, right? I guess we'll see.
Stonehill.
Yeah.
Can lose to Arcanite now.
I mean, we don't, man. We have so many taunts. I think we're fine.
Oh, you're right. We do have a lot of taunts. Yeah, go ahead and Stonehill.
They get through the taunts though, but yeah.
Stonehill again, right?
Yeah, Stonehill. We can't like spend 4 mana for.
Yeah. And trade rights. Yeah.
I mean, we can just kill the frothing next turn, even if she Reapers, but we take a lot of damage. So.
We take 9.
Want to play a 5?
We're gonna hit him for 10
and hit him for 10.
Yeah.
What I want to do too. Sit here and pretend we're thinking about Arcanite Reaper.
Yeah.
Which would have been a little bit better than patches so far this game.
Well, good talk.
Now he has 10 less health.
All right, this is where they just concede because their deck can't answer frothing.
Concede.
I mean, Blood Mage Defile would do it.
Concede.
They have the 2 cards they kept off the mulligan.
Concede.
They have a play, Muzz. They literally drew their 1 spell damage card. Beautiful by Team Liquid. We drew both of ours.
They kept
the file, which is reasonable.
So
this is interesting. I mean, we walk into Galaka with the captain, but
we play our 2/3s because efficient.
Because the Galaka doesn't do much against the Tar Creeper. So if they don't Galaka, it's upside. If they do Galaka, it's fine.
So on the 6, they have Siphon. They have a taunt in hand, so we need to put power on board to just bust through taunts, right?
Yeah.
And it just puts more power out, right? So
the main downside to double 3 is
okay. The Chain Gang makes it so like the Chain Gangs get in actions before Hellfire or Abyssal
I mean, they have a taunt in hand, so
They have a taunt that we need to get through, right? But if we play Captain, Tar Creeper, and they play a taunt, and then we can't really chain gang into that, so I guess we greenskin. Yeah, let's go with the 2-3s, 2-3s.
2-3s.
Okay. I just running through things.
The pirate's code.
This,
This one's gonna be a nail biter, but I think Warlock is almost out of the woods. Tar Creeper being a possibility. They don't need to play a Tar Creeper either, but Tar Creeper is very nice.
Stuff to put in the way sounds good to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think about their future turns as well, because the thing is, next turn 7, they can Earthen Ring and Stegodon.
That Galaka is big.
Massive Galaka turn.
Oh my. And now Lovey Lots without a weapon. Those Frothlings did work, but they need the follow-up too. And so far, it's just been all minions.
Yeah, the Frothlings got Lovey Lots on base, but no one really bat them home here. Tar Creeper and Senate Chain Gang goes wider onto the board. And while that's okay,
I think they
doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah.
How do they get past all of the walls of taunts and AoE clears?
Well, Hellfire and Abyssal are still fairly scary cards for Team Liquid, but as they continue to draw taunts, every single step stabilizes them more. You know, the number of strange minions they've seen, I think, takes Mortal Strike way out of the range. They know Heroic Strike's not there. As long as they step in the way constantly, that's their big win condition.
I'm looking at a really powerful next turn there where they have the Abyssal Forcer and Mortal Coil able to just pick apart the board.
Yep. Weapon is needed.
Yeah. Ironically enough, Fire War Axe would be great around now. No weapons. Instead, it's just all minions.
This is probably going to yield an all-in from Lovey Lots.
Let's tune in. This could be the last couple turns here for this series.
We're gonna trade all of our guys in, correct?
So the 2-6?
We're gonna kill that 2-6.
We're gonna, yeah. That's what I mean.
And my inclination is to not.
Not what?
I don't really want a greenskin, but do you guys?
Whoa.
Maybe we could.
We should.
We gotta win.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just. So, 2-5.
No, I kind of agree with you.
Yeah, we need a greenskin. The Firefly is the question, but I think we have
that for
We go all in, right?
Yeah.
Like, they have 2 Hellfires, which don't clear the greenskin, and then
playing all of it.
Defile. Okay.
Yeah, it clears, right? No, it doesn't. Yeah, Defile clears.
Yeah, it
1,
clears.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, just Defile and then play double 3 and then we win.
Mm-hmm. I probably concede when you defile.
We have the coil though.
No, we don't. It's
1,
like
2,
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah. We don't have the coil.
GG's.
GG's, boys. Wow, 1-0-1 really helped. No, no, speak Tar Creeper.
Oh fuck, no.
That was straight up misplay.
Come on, language.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Twitch chat.
The memes is cool.
Let's just go face now, kill them. Ooh, nice.
Yeah,
play everything.
Let's just play cards.
Like we're happy goal.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
We'll have lethal next turn, so.
But I don't think we'll have lethal next turn.
We can Hellfire coil though. Like,
you can kill the Hydra. What price is? Never mind. Happy Go Gamers.
Smiley face.
Not much to discuss.
Look how big my core front is.
very big.
We don't have anything. Drain soil coil on the Hydra.
Yeah, we don't tap first, right?
No, just drain soil.
Nah,
coil.
just
You always
we can
first.
get play, right?
Yeah.
Siphon.
Yes. I like keeping our minions alive here. If she plays Hydra, we win anyway. So what are we saving Siphon for?
The Deathwing off the top.
The what?
Deathwing.
Oh, Deathwing. Yeah. 6, 9, 10. Not there yet.
It's not lethal.
Just tap and go face, I guess. Despicable face.
Yeah, despicable face.
Unleash me.
GG, boys.
GG's.
Week 1 comes to a close, and Team Liquid is going to take home the W, and they were definitely one of the top teams to be reckoned with in Season 1. And it looks like they're firing on all points here. They take home the victory through 6-3.
Yeah, and a big one that's missing in that last game is weapon for Team LUL. No weapon in Pirate Warrior does not operate on the same level. They had a great opening start. I think the Frothing Berserkers panned out really well for them, but the Blood Mage Defile was such a big swing. And we heard Team LUL talking about that's their only source of spell damage. So it sounded like they had a lot of familiarity with the deck list that Team Liquid had as well.
Yeah, and I think if you kind of look at the deck lists overall from Team LUL, they definitely had a lot of interesting choices. And I hope that this doesn't discourage them from trying out more stuff, because I think there is a lot of room to play. And I think I can't remember who exactly said it yesterday during the interviews. I think it was Stan Zivka. He said in his opinion, there's no perfect lineup in this format right now, which means that there's a lot of different strategies you can play with. The perfect format means it's unbeatable. It's tier 0. You have to bring that lineup or else you're in a disadvantage. So I'm looking forward to week 2 already.
Yeah, and there's the standings after week number 1. Virtus Pro, Complexity Gaming, Team Liquid, Misfits all pull out to an early lead. Looking forward to around week 3 to see who really starts to separate themselves from the pack. You know, the first 3-0 team I think is going to be really interesting to look how their lineups have maybe adapted or the lack thereof in adaptation. We saw so many different strategies here in week number 1.
That's right. And while, Planet Odd, G2, Lovey Lots, and Tempo Storm are at the bottom half, lots can change over the course of 7 weeks. And we've had a lot of fun here at Trinity, man. So, week 1's in the books already, man. I feel like we just got started a few hours ago, but we've already been here for, 10 to 20 hours already.
Yeah, Trinity series always feels like it just goes by super quick. But like Dan said, this is just week 1. There are 7 weeks of Trinity series that are still to come. And there you can see a recap of what happened today. Paladin still a big force over these first 2 days.
Yeah, and it's the big thing to note is if you only watch the second half, the first half Paladin was dominated by controlled N'Zoth Paladin. Again, something worth going back to the books and maybe start thinking about what you want to do besides the traditional deck we've come to expect. When you bring Paladin, people expect Murloc Paladin. When you bring Warlock, they expect Control Warlock. But as we've seen throughout the weeks here, there's different archetypes for each class that you're capable of bringing. The least flexible seems to be Hunter and Shaman, but some people aren't even bringing those, instead choosing to mix it up with different types of other classes.
That's right, and over the course of these next 6 weeks, we will see each team play every other team in the league. It is round robin, so if you're looking forward to a particular match, it will happen sometime throughout the Trinity series.
That's right. So week 2, we'll have Team Liquid and Virtus Pro kick things off. And, of course, that's going to continue us all the week to week 7, wrapping it with the final match of the regular season, Complexity Gaming versus Team Liquid. And when it's all said and done, we'll have the live finals here in the ESL studios in Burbank, California, December 8th through 10th. live in the flesh, and hopefully we can get all those players and make sure all the travel arrangements are being sorted. And December 8th to 10th is also exciting because, like last time, it's kind of the final closure of the meta, or who knows? I mean, things might change by then. We're expecting an expansion around that time of year, and maybe if we get fortunate enough, we can see the new expansion come around that as well.
Yeah, I always love when big championships take place right after an expansion because it's all about adapting to the circumstance at that point. I like it when it's at the conclusion of it too, but something exciting about watching pros have to navigate a brand new format. Like, look at this post-patch. It's just night and day from before when Spreading Plague was changed. And I know that we haven't seen a ton of Druid here this week, but with Priest becoming the big talking point there, it really changed the way all the decks operated. The Pirate Warrior taking the big hit. It's just so much different is happening with even just the Murloc War Leader change. Like, every single little option becomes different due to those tiny little health buffs and the extra mana and whatnot.
That's right. So that wraps up the first week of Trinity Series Season 2. A big shout out to those who helped partner with us on this event. So obviously ESL, Twitch, and a big shout out to Intel for helping us put on the show and keep the lights on. We're done with week number 1, so tune in next week starting Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific here on twitch.tv/ESL_Hearthstone for more Trinity Series Season 2 action.